Welcome to Footballers Convention, World Cup edition, quarterfinals, Sweden and England. Got a full table with me today. Gents, why don't you introduce yourself, starting with you, Adam.
I'm Adam Serrano, LA Galaxy Insider, senior editor of LAGalaxy.com, lifetime soccer watcher.
So what would you say your favorite team is?
Probably in the Premier League, I'd say Liverpool, but I mean, I'm
that was a loaded question for
Galaxy, baby.
Fabian?
Fabian Checa, just a lifelong soccer fan.
You see me play. He's played with me enough. We
have
the
connection.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm John Roca, lifelong soccer fan as well. Work over at Collider, host a bunch of shows, produce a bunch of shows over there. A DC United fan from birth, so naturally on the opposite side here with that, but a Liverpool fan as well. So there we go.
That always brings us together. What are you guys looking for today as England kicks off against Sweden here?
Well, I think Dele Alli and I think Sterling are going to have great games. I just look for them to have great games because of the compact defense of the Swedes. I think that's what you're going to need to break them down. I wouldn't be shocked to get a goal from either one of those guys in the game today.
I think that when you look at this game, you know, it's natural to give England a significant edge. I mean, they have all the talent there, but this Swedish team has been so impressive. With their collective identity, they just seem to know how to play together. They're the classic, you know, more than the sum of their parts type of team. And I think, really, they're going to give England more of a challenge than Colombia did.
All right, I got to ask. So you're a Galaxy Insider. You spend some time with the big man. How's he been throughout this tournament with Sweden going? Is he able to, like, watch, enjoy, or is he nervous?
I think he's, of course, he'd want to be there. I mean, who wouldn't? I'd want to be there right now. But I think that, you know, he supports his nation. I think they decided to take a different route, obviously, because they had Zlatan and the whole team was around Zlatan, and that was just sort of, they could only go one route, you know. But this Swedish team just plays a different style, and they decided to move on without him, and they've had a lot of success, and he's been very supportive.
Ooh. Don't you think, though, maybe at some point if the game goes on, you might be thinking, well, he did score 4 goals last time he played him. I mean, isn't that a little bit of a story in and of itself? Is that that he isn't there, like, a what if a little bit?
It is, but, like, I've spoken to so many of these Swedish reporters, and they've all sort of said that their, like, collective identity is what really matters to them. It's this, like, national spirit that, you know, Zlatan's extraordinary talents kind of don't mesh with.
Yeah.
So
you don't say.
I mean, you know, it's like 11 little soldiers, and you know, you have the flamboyant general, and he just sort of doesn't mesh with their style. But I mean, he's done so well, and he's supporting them, and he's got his little bet with David Beckham.
Yes, I saw that. That was cool.
So you're saying that they're here because they don't have Zlatan playing, not in spite of it?
I think I would take Zlatan, obviously, but I think that their perception is that they decided to change their style of play to go to more of a collective identity, sort of the way that they played, you know, 1994.
Rather than focus on a singular.
Back in having the singular Zlatan.
Got it.
Right.
And then you look at the way they play. I mean, they're always compact. You know, they play in those sort of blocks, and they just try to hit you on the counter. I mean, when you try to be a little bit too open with them, you get burned, like Mexico did.
Yeah, Mexico got destroyed for that. Yeah.
You know, they tried to be a little bit creative with taking them down, and they saw how fast they are.
Yeah.
Do you think that Argentina would have benefited from that mentality?
I think a lot of teams would. I mean, you look at the United States. I mean, you look at Mexico's commitment to that sort of style. They drifted away from that against Sweden, and you saw what happened. I mean, and that ended up costing them in the end.
No, I'm sorry. I meant moving away from a focus on a singular star and playing as a collective.
How do you leave?
That's the toughest part.
That's what I'm saying, right?
That's the toughest part. When you're still contributing and you're still of that age, I don't think you can just say, "Hey, Messi, you know, go kick rocks." I mean, he's so talented, and you can kind of look at Ronaldo as your path. I mean, the way that the Portuguese play with Ronaldo, he's able to fit into that workman-like mentality. I think that with Argentina, you haven't had a manager to really instill a collective identity Messi's entire time here, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, you've just got a bunch of people just sort of kicking the ball and going around. I mean, in that case, I can do it.
Got a couple comments already. Jeffrey Van Gerp says, who do you guys will think will be MVP? I'm guessing you mean of the tournament? Do you guys have any front runners for Golden Ball?
Well, it was Modric until that game against
Yes.
Mbappe first so far
Mbappe
is putting on a good show, as well as challenging for young player of the tournament.
I think he might have that pretty.
He has no competition there, but he can win both if he really keeps it up.
If he understood what space he was in that with that header, he would have scored against. He could have just taken a step back, brought it down, and just tried. I think he was just surprised he was so up, and that would have really solidified him even more.
Yeah. What about Mr. Kane out here? A couple more goals. It's hard to ignore that. I mean, definitely for Golden Boot, but Golden Ball too. At some point, you got to figure that's.
Yeah.
If you keep scoring, right, he's got to be considered for it.
Yeah, he's my choice, honestly. I think that when you look at what he's done for this team, he makes them go. And if they're going to make a deep run, they're going to go to the semifinals and potentially win this tournament, I think. You got to look at him.
Brinsley says, what time is it for you guys over there? It must be early. It is
7 a.m.
A late 7 a.m. kickoff for us. Daniel S. says, Swede here, representing Outlaw Nation. John's getting the love early.
Respect, man, respect.
Jason Henderson.
Here we go. Oh, come on.
Heavy.
Come on.
Jason Henderson says, Lukaku or De Bruyne? Yeah, De Bruyne is always a good shout.
No, Lukaku had a great game yesterday.
Yeah.
Lukaku, what he can do is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the smartest players you can see in this tournament, just the way that he runs. I mean, I must have watched that counterattack against Japan a million times.
Oh,
from
yeah.
that back angle, you just see his little dummy run. I mean, it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But De Bruyne's strike, jeez.
It was a gorgeous strike.
He had a great game yesterday, Lukaku. He held off a bunch of players. He was dribbling and he was using his speed better than I've seen him play in a long time, even against Japan.
But what you brought up earlier is interesting, this idea of team identity, right? Because Sweden, they had to craft this identity. Argentina, I don't think it would work for Argentina because Argentina is a Latino nation. Latino nations like flair, and they enjoy that. Mexico is the same way. They have the compact thing, but they do have Chicharito. They have those players who are flair players, and they need them as a national identity thing.
This was like the closest we saw Mexico to playing as a unit.
It's very close.
But there was still still Chucky and Chicharito and
Marquez.
I think
Manzano.
you look at Uruguay though. I think Uruguay is the prime example of a different, it's a different type of identity, and we don't want to get too political, whatever.
Sure.
But I admire the way that team plays because they play hard-nosed every single game, and they still have the talent in Cavani and Suarez, two of the best strikers in the entire world, to score the goals.
But Suarez has always been a bull. He's not a flair player necessarily. He's a bull,
but
so he gets through.
Cavani,
yes.
Forlan,
Diego Forlan,
before him, they had those sorts of skills.
Yeah.
I think it's something that Mexico and even the United States can learn from, and just sort of being hard-nosed and going back to what works.
Yeah, I wonder about that. I wouldn't mind us being flair just once. Have some flair just once, because that's what we're always known for, is the workmanlike team that always does as good. Well, true,
Not
right.
anymore.
Well, yeah. There's a lot of issues going on through the whole qualifying campaign, that's for sure.
I think it's something that I think fits, the way both teams play.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the way that the world views both the U.S. and Mexico national teams, it's very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And yet we see from so close up that the lens is different.
Yeah.
But they're both hardworking teams.
Right.
They're both good on the counter.
Yeah.
They both know how to finish their chances, and they're both just not there yet.
Not quite there.
Not quite there yet.
Do you think Osorio would take over the U.S. team?
I think he'd be a decent shout for them. I think he knows the landscape. He knows MLS. He knows the players. Speaks English.
Yeah.
It might not be a super popular opinion, but I don't think Dave Sarakin's really done anything to lose the job.
Good point.
You look at the way that people speak about him, especially Timothy Weah saying that he was very integral in bringing him into the national team. He brings a good collective spirit. I mean, I know that he has the past administration kind of stink on him.
Sure.
But I mean, he's done very well, I think.
You think he deserves at least a tournament or a?
I mean, it's just tough to say because you don't have that much time. I mean, you give somebody a Gold Cup, and then all of a sudden you're on the back foot for World Cup qualifying. If the U.S. goes to Copa America, anything like that, you have to shuffle it, and you might have the right type of talent. I think with Osorio, he might go to Colombia. I think that's his dream job. But other than that, I mean,
you like Eddie Pope though? You think he was a good
Eddie Stewart? Ernie Stewart.
Is it Stewart?
Stewart.
Yeah, who am I
Stewart.
thinking?
Yeah. Stewart from Philadelphia. Yeah, I mean he's got European experience. I mean, worked with the Philadelphia Union for a while. I don't know if he's necessarily my pick, but like that was a weird gig because you didn't really have a lot of power to really shape the national team program like a true technical director would do.
Ooh. But do you want European experience? I guess that kind of goes back to the idea of identity, right? Like, I would argue that Argentina and Uruguay play a European-style soccer as opposed to the rest of South America, which plays the flair style. Do you want the U.S. playing a European-style soccer or its own brand?
I think you want somebody to have the experience of being at those top leagues, not necessarily emulating their style.
Right.
But sort of taking what you can get, on your plate in the big buffet of soccer.
Well, the younger guys are moving into the European leagues at younger ages, so that's a good thing overall. To be influenced in that way.
Yeah, it's just part of it. I mean, where I was saying the U.S. and Mexico are so similar is right after Mexico gets eliminated, Osorio's like, our best players must be playing in Europe. That's like what Klinsmann said about the United States 4 years ago. And I'm like, okay, well, this is just the same thing. These two teams are in the same position.
But they're not wrong. And it doesn't have to necessarily be in Europe. It's just they have to be playing at a higher level consistently, right?
Yeah,
competitive level consistently.
You have to challenge yourself.
But that also presupposes that they'll actually get onto the first team of that team that they go. And that was always the problem, is these guys would go over and barely get any playing time and not be as sharp.
I was talking with someone yesterday, and we agreed that if I was a coach and I was like picking a team here at the World Cup that I wanted like all my players to emulate, it would be Uruguay. It'd be like, look how they work hard. They don't give me an inch. Like anytime, even the ball's going out of bounds, they're still chasing it down to get that elbow so that the other team knows you're breathing down their neck. They play hard, they play fast, they defend well, they attack well.
Ooh, pretty good shot.
Is that Forsberg?
Right there.
Who is he mad at? Who are you mad at? He took a 75-yard shot. Who are you mad at? I don't understand.
Yeah, the defenders are going, go ahead, have that. Yeah, please shoot from there. That's
given the save he made too against Colombia.
That was brilliant. The one that like no one can find the real replay of. Like all we get is the behind the goal.
Laurie's save was incredible.
That was a great save.
That was incredible.
Even Courtois last night.
Oh yeah,
that was
save was great too.
Pretty good too.
John Mulligan says, why are we watching Chester v. Liverpool game? Halftime, my friend. The big one. And Jeffrey says, what was your most underperforming team this World Cup? For me, it's Germany. I expected way more.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta.
For the number 2 in the world to just fail so miserably.
To finish last in their group?
Yeah.
I'd say so. Argentina also.
Germany, Argentina.
No, Argentina.
Spain. I thought Spain for me. They just didn't look like a good team at all through most of the tournament.
I think with Spain, you just saw how important Xavi was to that team. I mean, Iniesta's fantastic, and he's a true master of the game, but I think Xavi was the true general with that team to find these spaces, and they didn't have it.
The engine,
Also, Iniesta at this point was an older Iniesta. It was not the same. He had a few. He had several moments where he was just not as sharp as he normally was. Bad passes, bad touches, things like that.
I just feel like the truce is over. That they kept in the Spain camp for a few years. We're like, you have Barcelona camp, Real camp, and now like the Atletico. Even you saw like Diego Costa when he's telling here like, oh, Koke's gonna miss. Like,
and that's his own teammate.
Yeah,
his own.
Well, that's Costa. He'll stab everyone in the back. As many hands as he's got,
I love it. Way to go, man.
I've never hated a player more. I never have. I never hated a player more. When he played for Chelsea, I wanted him to get his leg broken every game. He's such a jerk.
I've always really liked Atletico, and so I've always just he just fits that style.
Yeah.
It's the same sort of style.
Isn't Torres out of Atletico as well?
Yeah, he is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's like
two completely different strikers.
Right?
Simeone's like, that's his thing. He probably loves having Costa there because it's like someone who'll just do the absolute dirtiest thing you need possible.
But that kind of keeps you in check. Imagine if you're Koke now and you have to go to preseason training with Costa, and he's like, oh, I just thought you were going to miss. Well, be better.
Yeah, you think maybe Koke, when no one's around, is going to start practicing penalty kicks a little
maybe,
more?
Yeah.
Like, is that not motivation to be like, shit, I should get better at this?
Yeah, hey.
He's the
I want this guy to call me out in front of the entire world.
That was bad. That was bad. But it also made Hero, like the whole Spain, like that's how you guys pick penalties, is like going around going,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe credit to Southgate then for at least saying like, oh, I know who's going to take it. We've been practicing. It is something you can get better at.
Ooh.
Maybe you shouldn't fire your manager.
Yeah.
Come
2
on.
days
Just
before the
because
tournament.
you're kind of salty that he took a job.
Yeah, who cared? That
pretty
was
good.
so petty. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, I want to ask you guys about this because I was reading this article and I almost tweeted it yesterday in a little bit of anger. This Yahoo News writer, I forget his name is, but he talked about how he thought the yellow card rule was a ridiculous rule, and that's the reason Brazil lost, because that yellow card rule keeping
Casemiro?
off the pitch, and I'm just like,
Yes,
this is the tournament, this is the game.
Yeah.
If you're not disciplined enough to not get yourself yellows, not get yourself out of that situation, then like how is that an issue? Like I'm confused by that.
My only beef is that each game, right, a referee kind of establishes a standard of like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna strictly judge this. I'm not, and you kind of get some variance in between matches. So
Right.
you could say like, all right, this guy called it tight, and I have a bunch of yellows from that, and then the other opponent, they had a less strict referee. That's maybe my only little issue. But
Yeah.
again, like you said, the rules are kind of established. You know all that going in. It's not a surprise.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's tough because there are so many games and you're supposed to be so disciplined.
Right.
And that's not necessarily advantageous to the style that you play. I mean, you could be a physical team like in Uruguay or
Yeah.
a different nation and where you pick up yellow cards and that's just sort of the way that you play and you set that physical standard. So
Yeah.
I can kind of see it playing a little bit of devil's advocate. I think that maybe there's too
Yeah.
many games to be under.
Well,
under that
that's the
scrutiny.
question. Do you think there's an adjustment to this that would be better? Like where all the yellows wiped out at the end of the group stage, and then you start over
I
again.
would like
and
to
then you
see
take
that. I
7
think you
more.
shouldn't have the group stage yellows kind of affect
the
the knockout
rounds,
round. Just I think it's a disservice to the game.
Yeah.
It's a different beast. Mazafar Han says, what do you guys think about performances of De Bruyne and Lukaku yesterday? I think we talked a little about that. They were good.
They were very good. Belgium, fee good.
It felt like they looked past Japan. Like it felt like like
Sure.
seeing how they performed yesterday. You're like, okay, they really did think that they were just going to walk all over Japan, which is why they kind of got caught with their pants down a little bit.
But that is why now I'm on the Belgium train. I'm saying I think they're going to win it all because they've
Wow.
shown that
That's a
in this
lot- it's a
tournament.
big bandwagon right now.
I got on it in 2014 and they broke my heart when I was bigged them up and they lost to Argentina and France. I was telling everyone those are my two big teams I loved last World Cup. I'm too early, but
Right.
Belgium has shown that they can win in every different way now, right?
Yeah.
They can dominate small guys in the group. They could win a weird kind of match against England where no one really wanted to win. They could come back, score 3 goals after blowing it, or they can come out early and then hold a lead off from a good team. So like, they're not just a front-running team or a lucky team.
Yeah.
They've won a multitude of ways now. So I think that might get them past France and probably.
And they feel like beasts. Like when they were playing Brazil, Brazil looked like waifs in comparison
Yeah.
to the size of the Belgian players. It just seemed like that was an inevitable game.
Sturdy lads.
Yeah. Bunch
Jeffrey-
of Huskies. Yeah.
Yeah, Emil Huskies. Jeffrey asks, what's our opinion about VAR and Hawkeye and that sort of stuff?
I like it. I think the VAR has dramatically improved the game. There's going to still be judgment on the ref's part for certain decisions, and we're not always going to agree with those. But for those that are clear cut, that would have been missed otherwise, and have game-changing impacts, I think the VAR makes 100% sense. I still don't understand why UEFA hasn't incorporated it. It's ridiculous. But
Here it goes.
Oh, very close.
I think that it's something that should continue to be there. No matter, it's not like it hasn't ruined the game the way that everybody says it has. It's not taken hours and delayed the games dramatically. It's been 30 seconds to a minute for them to figure it out, and so I think it should stay.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, you get a lot of traditionalists saying that you shouldn't have
Right.
that. Human error is still part of it, and I mean, honestly, you've seen some of these calls. That
Right.
Human error
Yeah.
is still part of it, even if you have replay. But I think that, as you said, in this World Cup, it's been executed fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that in MLS and what I've seen, I think that you haven't had as much success with VAR, just getting calls right and realizing what's a review, what's not a review. I mean, the Galaxy the other day had a few of those calls where
Yeah.
the ref said, "Well, I blew my whistle early, so I can't review this because I have a little excuse." But I think it's been fantastic here.
I agree. It's been quick as opposed to
Yeah.
the NFL replays, which are 15 minutes
Right.
for one play. These things have been really quick, and sometimes they go on what they're getting. The ref goes with what gets called down to him, and he just goes with it. And I appreciate that a lot. And he runs to that's like the referees walk in the NFL. The referees in the World Cup run to the screen to take a look at which.
Yeah, because they understand the importance of not delaying the entire process too long.
Exactly.
One extra minute at a time. Great. 94 minutes instead of 93 minutes.
Yeah, it's really not that big a deal.
Plus, we get the whole this now. We get this.
Yeah.
I love it. Everything is.
In MLS, you get a yellow card if you do that.
Yeah,
do that?
that's right.
Yeah. One of the players did that to the ref on
brilliant.
Wednesday. Immediate yellow card.
Hey guy.
I like,
hey guy.
yeah,
They're
I
like,
like
hey,
that.
do this. Oh,
That's
how about this?
But I
for
think
you?
that's a rule here too. It's like you're not supposed to be telling the ref to do the VAR, but I think you can still signal it as like a way of communicating. If obviously your languages aren't the same.
Right.
I love it though.
Should have told Perry Kitchen he should have spoken French.
Yeah, there you go.
Yellow card.
Mazafar says Japan advanced over Senegal because of fair play. So that's his big argument why the refs have different tolerances in cards, and FIFA might change that next World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking with some guys about it. How unlucky would you have been if that went to the drawing of the lots, to be eliminated from the World
Yeah,
Cup?
wouldn't that have been worse?
Yeah.
I mean,
Flipping of coin.
Yeah, like I don't. But what alternate solution do you have? You can't just bring them together in one city and have them do penalties.
You
real
have a
quick.
random
Yeah.
penalty shot.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
bring them in.
So I don't know. I don't know how you would settle that. What other tiebreakers? You're already so far down the list of possible tiebreakers. What else can you do?
I would just, like, at some point, once you've gone down to like your 8, 9 tiebreak, I would just say like maybe the team with the lower FIFA ranking or whatever.
Yeah,
because
but
like you always see teams inflating them, playing friendlies, going in. I'd like to see, all right, put the onus on the team that's supposedly better, right? Or
Yeah, like Poland wasn't the 10th best team in the world.
Right. oh, you said lower FIFA ranking.
yeah,
I didn't
exactly.
realize
They
that.
get through. So like,
They overachieved.
exactly. I mean, right? You want to do anything to incentivize your big teams to play more attacking, since they allegedly have the talent.
It's true.
Poland, maybe not so much. But.
Ooh.
Oh no! Are we getting another Harry Kane penalty today? It wouldn't be an England World Cup match. Terry wants it. I want to see him keep taking, because I want to know how long until he misses, right? Like, how many penalties does he have in his arsenal before it's like he's shown everything?
No.
Ooh, no.
Hand the body.
Yeah.
You can't call that.
You'd be furious if you had that called as a defender.
Oh yeah, I would lose it.
Adam, did you play? Were you a player back in the day?
yeah, I used to play goal.
Really?
Oh, wow.
A little bit short for a goal. More
You're Campos, or
Yeah,
Campos type
exactly.
goalie.
like a Oscar Perez.
Oh, okay. The rabbit.
Yeah.
There it is. There.
Oh.
And earlier we saw the collectors on my Harry Kane off-target shot. Those are very few and far between.
Very few.
Off target. That's not like him. By about a foot, but
Confused by the decision. Oh, it was deflected. Okay. I was going to say.
See, I mean, this is just going to be the game, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just England's going to have the ball, and they're just going to have to be patient and figure out a way they can break Sweden down.
But they are pressing them, which I'm surprised by.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna need to be careful, because as they grow in confidence and more possession, they're gonna start to push more and more people forward, and that's what Sweden's hoping for, right? They're waiting for that moment to let them allow the pressure and then break.
if this starts creeping closer towards extra time and all that, is England now? Can you say they've like gone and buried the whole penalty
No.
voodoo, or you're thinking, all right, we won one, let's never do that again.
Let's
Never do that again.
I think even what was it, Euro '96? They
won.
a game in penalties and then subsequently
Lost.
the Southgate.
The Southgate
missed
one,
it.
yeah. It was Germany, right? I think.
Yeah, Germany semifinals.
Yeah.
So yeah, they can just blow and choke all over again.
I feel like penalty misses stay on your like report card longer than penalty makes.
Yeah.
Right? Like everyone knows Southgate missed that one. Everyone knows Baggio missed 94.
Yeah.
So
But I asked someone the other day, I'm like, hey, do you remember who made like the winning penalty for Italy in 2006? I know you know it's Grosso, but they were like, and I'm like, exactly.
Yeah, the misses are more. especially when there are misses that eliminate you, like the last kick and it eliminates you.
Or misses that are comeuppance, like John Terry slipping against Manchester United, which was beautiful. Those kinds of things.
Everyone remembers about. Now I'm struggling. But didn't Ronaldo also miss a penalty in that same shootout?
Oh, he might have.
I think but like no one remembers that.
Yeah.
AB Hokies says, Outlaw Nation checking in. Have I missed anything in the first 15 minutes of the match?
Just some great conversations. and some good attacks from Sweden, actually. Some surprisingly good attacks from Sweden. They're getting in there.
Just some memories.
I think unless you're Germany, you can't consider yourself confident in any shootout.
Or a small team who's just happy to be there, right?
Yeah.
Nothing to lose, you know?
Like Russia were celebrating winning with the penalties against Spain, like they'd won it already because
they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
I mean, Akinfeb's fantastic goalkeeper, you know.
Yeah.
One of the best of the tournament.
Schmeichel was incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
unfortunate.
sad that he had to lose that match. He was incredible.
And Courtois is now looking in good form, too, so. Muslera, stock's going down a little bit. That's tough.
Yeah,
that was
so
rough.
unlucky.
It happens, though. We've seen it. John, you know.
Yep.
John,
I know. I say I know, but, you know, I got to
that's
commiserate a
not
little bit.
That was
ooh,
that was a fun game, right?
Yeah,
so fun.
We had a good time for about the first 17 or so minutes.
I was like, oh, you know what? I'm starting to believe in this. Oh, wait. Oh, Salah's dead.
Seriously.
But even when Salah was gone, let's not talk about it.
I can't. No, we would have won. Please, we were already figuring out that defense. We would have sliced them to pieces.
Was it Alexander-Arnold that had that save at the near post?
Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yeah, beautiful comeback on Cristiano. Yeah.
Yeah.
We bottled him up. That guy.
How about Karius's? Have you seen Karius's Instagram video?
Yeah, his like promo video. Why would you put
my
that out?
God, it was great. I want to go to Sultan Strata, hang out with Karius now.
I know. I felt like, am I going to see him on the street now? Like he's everywhere. He's all around LA. He's like doing training.
Find him.
But it's like
he's here in LA.
It's like if MTV music video did like a let's do a soccer player training video. You know, or like
somebody set it to Baywatch music.
Yes, that was good.
Oh my God,
it was so good.
I started crying.
Yeah, like he's just like running around and then like going to train
like
LA
Runyon
spots.
Canyon, just going out there.
I don't know what I would do if I saw him.
Is he trying to rehab his image? I don't understand.
I think he's just having fun.
But someone produced that, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
Was
he paid to do it, or did he?
A couple people said this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, let's all get together and do, it wasn't just him like
you got
on
a drone? Let's follow this guy around.
Yeah. We hired some PR from him. We got two young kids. We know exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah. Big social media guys.
Yeah.
We got you.
How quickly can you come to the U.S.?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty.
We got this place, Salt and Straw. You can lick an ice cream cone. It's going to be great.
How is especially when like Liverpool are playing a preseason friendly. You know, it's like just, like who is it? Like Keita or whatever. Like showed up early because he's like, who's like, I just want to start training now.
Yeah.
Like, just keep your head down.
People are proud to wear the shirt. Damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say, though, I think he's gone through a lot of emotional stress, so I could see why they're saying, okay, well, you know what, chill, have some ice cream.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not hating on him if that's what he's got to do.
You're still gonna be the number one keeper right now.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
For now. Yeah.
For now.
They gave up hopes on Alisson, it looks like.
What's that?
Liverpool stopped their bids for Alisson.
Yeah. I'd rather. Well, okay, so I get someone asking about it, and I'd rather spend our money on Dybala if Ronaldo goes, and that's what someone's asking about. What do you think about those rumors, Ronaldo to Juve, possibly then freeing up Dybala if they have to, comply with financial fair play, which at this point no one really understands and believes in.
Well, apparently Milan's out of Europe because of it, and I still don't get the financial fair play.
Does anyone really understand?
I've tried
Who has a
going through
firm
it,
grasp
just
on it?
and
so
I don't
confusing.
get it. Yeah,
I mean,
and unenforceable or unenforced. I mean, when you look at some weird shenanigans going on with draws in Russia and our athletes and looking the other way, and we're supposed to believe in this fairy tale of financial fair play when there's not even.
Right.
Yeah. These crosses have not been good.
No, I was just going to say that. It's been poor from both sides.
Yeah.
Trippier has been having a good tournament too in terms of crossing, so that's.
But it seems to be the only place that they're getting opportunities to push forward, because through the middle they're getting nothing. They're not. They're getting closed down as soon as they get the ball.
Sweden's letting him have the wings.
Yeah.
Yep. header would be good. Is Andy Carroll on the team? No.
Peter Crouch.
Yeah, Crouch could do it. And then do the robot. Here we go. This is going in.
Oh, yeah!
For England. Maguire.
Maguire of all people.
Maguire.
He got up good there.
Look at that.
Wow. That
I wonder if,
Leicester City's on, huh?
yeah.
you know, Southgate was talking about how he, you know, studied the NBA for the set pieces and the pick and rolls to this whole thing, and I wonder if when they do this replay, if you'll see if any of that came into.
Let's see. Well,
Yeah, look
He
at
gets up there well.
yeah, he kind of did a curved run, didn't he?
Yeah. See right there?
Bit
He
right
found
there,
the hole.
yeah.
He found
Great
the
header
hole.
too.
Yeah, he gets up well.
I loved the France free kick yesterday with the stutter
Oh yeah.
because that's what gave him the space.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
gave her the space.
Yep, they created a hole for him to slide into. That's incredible.
How does this changes the game a little bit now?
I
Now
mean,
Sweden
yeah.
has to start to
This
attack.
is
right?
exactly what Southgate wants.
Yeah.
I mean, you score on a set piece like this, Sweden has to come out of their shell.
Yeah.
And now England just has to capitalize on these opportunities. I mean, they're going to get them. They have to be able to finish.
What they can't do is just sit back and try and now defend for 60 minutes.
Yes.
They're not a side capable of doing that.
They couldn't do it for 5
As
minutes.
Colombia
extra
proves.
time.
Exactly.
Yeah. That was bad. Maguire, first international goal. Good for
Harry
him.
Maguire. I still hear the names of those. I still hear those kids from the England squad announcement every single time. I hear one of the players' names.
Frey name.
Harry Maguire. You're in the squad, bro.
Yeah. That was pretty good. Yeah.
Like it's like clockwork. I just hear it every single time. Even though I can't really understand what a lot of people were saying. Like they had the Jordan Pickford, they have a little kid in like the futsal court, and he's like, Jordan Pickford, repping for the Muffins. I was like, what is that
Wait,
mean?
what?
Mackems from Sunderland.
Oh my god.
I was like, I am what?
Yeah.
What? Why is he loves muffins that much, huh?
All that's missing are some signs. Repping for the Muffins.
Repping for the muffins. like I'm probably getting this wrong, but
I don't know. By the time this is over on 9 a.m. here, I'll be repping for the muffins. So.
Yeah.
AB Hookie says Maguire is the tallest guy in the field. He's their target on most set pieces. Terry, you want to fact check that? You want to look up everyone's heights and complain that we don't give her enough to do over
What?
there. So we'll think of some things for her.
Really? Oh, okay.
And AB Hokey also says, I want Roka to rock the Gareth Southgate waistcoat.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean,
yeah, I do
the
love
waistcoat.
vests. I do love vests.
He is probably the most stylish manager.
He's a good-looking man.
It really is.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking man in what he wears. He knows what he's wearing. I wish I could rock that facial hair. I can't go that at all.
I love the interviews of him saying like, if you had told me I would have been a style icon for people,
Yeah.
I can't handle it. To be fair, I mean, remembering Gareth Southgate playing for Middlesbrough, I was like, wow, it's the same guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's on that David Beckham come up, just
Seriously.
all the way up.
Sometimes it's just like that, The ones that have to work harder, the ones to stay, they understand the game better.
NL Brown says, as a person not used to watching football, what should I be looking for?
Goals.
Yeah.
That's, like how not used to it are you? Like
Yeah.
that
your
goals
first
for
time.
one. If you've got a little familiarity,
Oh. Right,
maybe
almost.
see if Kane can keep his goal score. I mean, I think
Yeah.
he's got the golden boot pretty much locked up. Six is usually enough to win it. So
They were calling the Golden Boot winner already on the Fox pregame show. I'm like, there's still 4 more games
Yeah.
here,
Fox has been a little presumptuous in some of their calls. Like after round 2 of the group stage, when they said Japan was or South Korea was eliminated, I'm going, no. If they beat Germany, there's still a chance. Like,
I actually got back and forth with a reporter with that. I was like, oh yeah, Mexico can still qualify with a loss,
Yeah.
and South Korea can still go there. Like, no.
Win.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at the
But
yeah.
the numbers.
That was probably one of the most heartbreaking moments is finding South Korea found out that they got eliminated, even though they just pulled off this major upset.
Yeah.
As a Mexico fan, I felt so bad. I was just like, man,
They deserved
they deserved it.
Yeah,
You know?
especially
Like,
if
we
they
couldn't.
bailed like
Mexico
that.
could not do
Yeah.
Right.
anything against Sweden.
Here. I love that replay. Now they're going to try and give Harry Kane credit for whatever he just told Maguire. Like,
This is what Kane is. Yeah,
Jump.
Yeah, jump and hit it down really hard, but put it right where there's no bodies, and then in the goal is good.
In fact, they're going to give Harry Kane the goal. Just
Fantastic.
He's claiming it, actually.
He's claiming
he does taste off it.
It's his now.
He's petitioning for it.
What
an incredible
play by
controversy.
Kane.
Oh, that controversy last was cracking me up, man.
Who's the next Golden Boot contender behind Kane?
Oh, Fabio, come on, that's too easy.
Yeah.
I think it's not. I think it's Ronaldo, but of all the players that are still active, so this is not taken into Maguire. But going in this match, Kane, Lukaku on 4, so he's maybe the only one with a shot.
No,
couple Russians, but they're on 3.
Right.
Griezmann technically.
Yeah, Grease, Mbappe. But Harry Kane still has more than half of this match.
So, I mean, Lukaku could do it. It's going to be hard to score against France. But
he also, right now, has got the tiebreaker. He doesn't get assists next one, so.
Harry Kane doesn't assist.
He doesn't assist.
No. I mean, unless you call telling somebody where to run an assist.
Yeah, give him that assist.
Yeah.
Spurs are lobbying for it.
Oh, my God.
Peter Zeke says he's listening to us while watching a match in a bar in England, and we're 2 minutes ahead of us, so he just annoyed everyone by predicting that goal.
Nice. That happened to me for the Germany-Sweden game. I was at an event in Long Beach, and this man comes in with a baby. They're both wearing Germany kits, very cute little baby, and he's like, starts screaming at his phone. Everyone's watching as Cruz sets up for the kick, and we're all like, what's going on? And he's like, watch. I'm like, he ruined the goal.
Yeah.
Don't do that,
Ruined
man.
the goal.
Yeah.
If he did not have that little baby, oh man, that guy was getting jumped.
Yes. Yeah, that's the thing. That people sometimes don't understand the passion of soccer fans. Like, it's fervent.
Yeah.
Fervent. Because goals can be so rare in games.
But especially that goal, for someone to be like, hey, this goal is pretty good, and you go, what?
Right.
What? Oh.
Watch this. No.
Shut up.
Also, it's weird that we're ahead for him when we're normally behind for everybody else.
Yeah, a minute.
Yeah, we were behind. Yesterday, I was doing a call-in with someone from Ireland, and they were ahead. So we're ahead of England, so we're ahead of them. Ireland's ahead of us. And I think Netherlands might be even further ahead. So tell us what the future's like, guys.
It's already tomorrow.
Hey, there you go.
That's what I just responded. I told Peter. I said, we'll let you know as ASAP next goal, so you can place a couple bets. Maybe.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Try to get a fiver here or there. We're looking out for you.
It's coming home.
What's been goal of the tournament so far? That Kroos goal, or did you
the
Pavard?
French.
Pavard?
Pavard's goal, by far.
Pure technique?
Yeah, just the way he hit it, the spin of the ball,
Yeah.
upper corner, I mean, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I really liked Messi's goal against Nigeria.
That was
I mean,
good
just
goal.
the technique to catch that
Full speed.
full
not
speed.
slow.
Not slow down. I mean, the passes to set it up too. I mean, it was brilliant. But Pavard, I mean, I did not expect him to send that.
No.
He didn't either. I don't
No, I don't think he did either.
I don't think he'll score a goal like that for.
That's one you
the
just
rest of his
do when
life.
you're training and you just
Yeah.
goofing around. But he's like, you
because it
know.
happens to set up for you, you're like, how many of these chances do I see?
I'm
there?
just gonna hit this.
And there's no losing for him there, right? Either he blows it and they're like, oh, well, he's a defender and he was going to blow it. Or he scores a ridiculous goal, which he did. So it's a win-win.
I do like De Bruyne's goal yesterday, though.
That was pretty pure.
Just the ferocity of it all was
Right.
incredible. Yeah, look, it's fascinating that Southgate has him out pressing. I didn't think they were going to do that. I thought for sure they were going to sit back a little bit.
I think he knows he's kind of got to go for the kill.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get this dusted in 45 minutes,
Yeah.
you can start to look ahead.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about the fact that you don't want to play into your opponent's strengths. So keep playing your game and make them adjust.
Well, that's what I saw that yesterday with Belgium, right? They
Yeah.
came right at Brazil to try to get that lead early, and they really, just pounded them.
What was really impressive about the Belgium game was that towards the end, they looked to Hazard to be to the guy who held the ball, not Lukaku,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Hazard was the one they kept finding, giving the ball, and then he would hold it up for a little bit.
He kept turning away, and they just couldn't get. within 2 feet of him.
Yeah.
Like I think he turned away out of pressure and just like started a nice like slow to the corner move like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, he had what was his name, Fernandinho, like in his pocket the whole time.
Fernandinho had a terrible
He
game.
was
Just
running
many ways
rampant.
in one. Obviously the own goal, and then he got completely sidestepped by Lukaku on the second, which we know Lukaku's a great player, but he shouldn't be just going around you like just shimmying you without delaying him. That's one where Casemiro knows to put a little foot in or something to slow that run up, so he's not just parading through town like that.
Yeah.
And then Hazard had him in his pocket. What happened to all that depth that myself included, were saying Brazil had?
Would you say that's one of the more disappointing teams in the tournament? I mean, just because everyone talked about the depth and everybody beyond Neymar and Jesus and everything that they had. I mean, and just kind of all fell apart.
I'd say so. What do you think, John?
I think what we spoke about when I was on here a week or two ago, what I reiterated before is this idea, like as soon as Neymar started crying when they qualified out of the qualifying, I was like, this is not Brazil. This is not the Brazil I'm used to. Because you're supposed to go to the knockout rounds out of the qualifying, out of that first round.
Yeah,
you're supposed to go to the knockout rounds. To react like that was so weird. And the Neymar rolling around stuff really became a whole other thing. And I think that distracts from your team. And when you talk about Sweden, it would have been interesting to see what Brazil would have done without Neymar. Would they have been a better team without Neymar? You have Coutinho, Firmino, all these guys that know how to play with each other. Would they have been a better team overall without having to cater to Neymar's antics? I just wonder about that. So yeah, I never found them to be impressive through the tournament in any of the games I watched them. The Brazil I'm used to watching.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I think his antics were a big problem, but honestly, I don't think their issue was on the attack. They even against Belgium, they had many opportunities to score that they just messed up, and they were developing those opportunities through every game that they played. I think what that let them down was parts of their midfield and parts of their defense, which they have a pretty well stacked defense, but it was not impressive on the defensive end.
Were we seeing the whole crying wolf thing coming to fruition for Neymar and his rolling and rolling?
He probably should have had some more calls that weren't called because of the way he is.
Or even maybe the Gabriel Jesus non-call against Company. The
Yeah.
more I look at that replay, I'm going, maybe they should have had a penalty on that.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think that when you develop that reputation, it's eventually going to come back and bite you.
There's nobody to blame
and
himself.
it did.
Cristiano is the one guy that escaped that. Because when he was younger, he was getting that reputation of doing that kind of stuff. And he's still occasionally doing a game, but he's such a worker that you don't mind it when it happens. As opposed to Neymar, which seems like he relies on it too much.
I'll never forget watching him roll around. I mean,
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Even there's great. I'm finding memes now. Of his teammates watching him. And like you see like Coutinho and like Felipe Luis, when they see him on, and then like everyone's staring like this, and they're just like this. They're like laughing because they know like that's just Neymar being Neymar.
I mean, it's so bad that Cantona now has a commercial about making fun of him. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what they should be talking about when they're talking about Brazil. And you become a laughing stock.
One of the soccer Twitter.
It's got to be offside.
It's got to be off.
No, he's on.
What?
Oh my God.
wow.
Yeah, he was off.
He was off.
Oh.
He had to
Got
be
all our
off.
hopes up. Maybe some.
The flag wasn't up.
Yeah, the flag didn't go up.
But I guess with VAR, you have to just you play until
Yeah, you have to keep
play
playing.
into the whistle and then play a little more just in case, right?
If they're going to run, I just felt this way. If they're going to score, totally.
Yes.
If they're going to score from open play, it has to be Sterling or Dele Alli. Just the younger, quicker guys, silkier guys can slip through that defense.
You think Kane might struggle to find that 1 or 2 yards?
If he scores, I'll be shocked. I just don't. I think they're focused on Kane so much that if he scores, it'll shock me. One of the soccer Twitter websites posted a training camp that they were doing with a bunch of young kids, and this guy's like yelling out skills. It's like 30 of them just around, and they're doing the skills, and then in the end he goes, "Do a Neymar," and they all fell down and started rolling around. And I'm like, already that quickly, it's a thing.
Mbappe too. It's contagious. I don't know
Mbappe.
I don't know what's going on at PSG, but maybe Cavani should have done a little more.
Which is sad for Mbappe because he's still so young, and you don't want him to make a precedent of that for the rest of his career.
Ooh, that's
Go back.
Right here, the
There it is.
What? What are you waiting
He
for?
wanted
Take
it.
it.
That's the Manchester
Oh.
City. That's the Sterling that drove me insane at Liverpool, that he would just take it on himself. 2 other open dudes right around him.
I just don't know what there was to think about.
Yeah. He's got to be quick
He's
with
on
your
there.
decision making and just
This should have been the goal.
Just
Touched
take
and
it.
shot.
He did the hard part. The hard part is controlling that.
Right.
then
There.
right
Look at
there.
that. That's what
Then,
drove
he's,
me
then,
nuts
he's
when he
then
played
you're
for
worrying.
us.
I mean, when you get surrounded by defenders like that, you know, you're thinking, okay, now what's my next move? Not just go into goal.
Or even take the penalty.
I mean, take.
It should have been once you once you controlled it, you just shoot it.
Yep.
Just shoot it.
Or
First
someone
time.
who's as quick as Sterling, you can go a little bit wider of the keeper than you really need to because you're so quick. You can still pass the ball in. You take a little bit of a wider angle.
yeah, or even just pass to the dude who was open at the top
Yeah,
so you could
too.
pass it to on the wing.
Wow. I mean, good move from England, but
Yeah.
damn, Sterling. It's a bit better though. Now Sweden a little bit on the
Yeah.
back foot here. Mazoffer says Sterling is a headless chicken.
Yeah, kind of. He runs
He
like
runs
it.
like it.
Yeah, it kind of does.
I like that. It's good.
Great run, but geez, poor decision making. Yeah.
That's Sterling.
I mean, he has. You can see there because the natural reaction part is running, controlling, bring that ball in. But then as soon as he has to then think about what he has
Yeah,
to do.
it got away from him a little bit.
Adam, you've been following to a lot of the criticism that he's been getting in England and the media and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's very unfair the way that people treat him. I mean,
He's still a young
it
kid.
reminds
people forget.
me. It kind of reminds me a little bit about the way that people treat Ashley Cole, and I think that Ashley never got a real fair shake from the media. I mean, when you see them talking about his tattoo and how that affects his work ethic and
Yeah.
what type of person is, it gets super racial.
Yeah, say it.
I mean,
Say it.
let's just say
Yeah,
it.
no,
It's
it's
super
true.
It walks to the
racial.
line, certainly.
It's super racial, and
Yeah.
it's very offensive. And I mean, for this guy who was a huge talent to have to go through something like that,
Does so much
it's
charity
awful.
work. Came
Yeah.
from nothing. Like, how dare he buy nice things for his mom, who used to have to be a janitor?
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
how
I
dare
mean,
he? Right.
It just shows that sometimes the English media can get racist.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way they act.
I mean, look at Trippier, full sleeve tattoos. Has anyone said anything about those?
Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, remember Jamie Vardy in the casino?
Yeah. Right.
I mean, did we
Right.
even talk about that anymore?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just part of his fun-loving identity.
Oh, they won a championship. Doesn't matter, I guess.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Square 111 says British press hates successful black people. They did the same to John Barnes too.
Yeah,
Barnes had a
it's
pretty
true.
tough time.
I mean, it's
If you don't draw attention to yourself, they don't say anything.
Yeah.
Like, they don't go after Oxlade-Chamberlain or Trent Alexander-Arnold. They leave those guys alone. But guys like Ashley, guys like Raheem and stuff like that, they just go right
but
after
that
them.
just
Hardwick
shows
gets
you.
it.
Yeah,
That just
that's
shows you
simple.
how bad it is.
Exactly.
They're able.
They're
These
uppity.
guys are trying
Yeah.
to, have some shine. And think about Ashley. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you think about the way that he's played. He's one of the best left backs of his generation. People talk about some thing with a gun at
Yeah.
training, like some story. I mean, that's all people talk
Yeah.
about, and that's ridiculous.
Yep.
Or his divorce. Like, who cares?
Right.
That's true. Halftime 1-0. Take a look at some stats. What do you guys think so far?
Sure.
TK, can we throw those on the desk? I think what possession about 60-40. It's about
What we expect.
about to be expected.
Yeah.
Goal attempts also England a bit better. Passes, that's about Sweden's passing at about 72% overall for the tournament successfully. So I don't think that's too surprising, especially any team that's countering and not a possession-based team, right?
Yeah, I mean that's exactly the stat line you expect from a team that's going to play defensive. It's going to sit in and try to counter.
You can certainly tell all those statistics. England is been more of the
Yeah.
aggressor in the first half. The corners, the fouls committed, the number of passes, all of that. Yeah, certainly driving the game.
Yeah, a little more than 50 passes in Sweden's third of the field for England. I think usually over the course of the game, if you see a team getting over 100 passes, that's usually a pretty good barometer
Yeah.
for how they're doing there. crosses, not a lot successful, as we pointed out early, 10, but only 2. We're able to find someone. Maybe they try to tighten that up a little bit.
But I mean, that's where they're getting an opportunity. So I think they should keep going that way. Obviously, they showed that they can. I mean, it was a defender, but they showed that they can score on a cross coming in, and so they're not getting success going through the middle. Sterling showed that twice now. Yeah. So crossing is, I think, the only way they can keep on going.
Or the little over the top a little bit. Sterling had a little bit of luck there. He just got to, He
got in his own way.
Exactly. And yeah, this pretty much confirms what we're just seeing a lot in Sweden's third of the field. Not a lot in England's. I mean, I'm trying to think. That one Sweden shot, was that from 25 out, or we'll take a look.
It seemed like after the first 20 minutes, England figured out how to kind of keep Sweden out of their end for the rest of the half.
Any surprise at Harry Kane playing a little bit deeper? I mean, we see Sterling here. He's obviously been making that run a little bit further forward.
No, but this is good. It's a very compact team, right? The defensive line is high, so that it doesn't give Sweden a lot of room, and they can cover on long balls, and it allows the team to move forward. I think that's what you'd want to see. You wouldn't want this deeper lying and these guys further out, on average, right?
I think we've seen enough England games now, and we've looked at this enough. This is the England we know. This is their identity, right? Henderson sitting in front, Dele Alli, and these 3 up here, and then keeping some wide room for Ashley Young and Trippier to run into and keep creating opportunities from the cross or from the wing. I think so. I think at this point, right? This is the England we know. This is what they're about. Yeah. Sweden, what stands out to you?
Much more defensive, right?
You've got your number 10. He's practically covering, right? He's covering your back line. He's living in his own half there. That's not that positive or encouraging, really. If you're thinking, okay, how now does Sweden go on and press and find this goal, this equalizer? Yeah. Seb Larsson, I mean, he was suspended last game, but he might as well be suspended again. I
haven't seen him.
I haven't seen him.
If you're Sweden, though, do you think you look to press? Do you risk opening yourselves up? Do you feel like, I think in the first 20 minutes of the half, I think you're going to see Sweden play their game and try to hit them on the counter and try to see where they can force England to make a mistake. I don't think you really need to have to open yourself up if England can't find
so you're saying
goal.
1-0, okay, not great, but keep the faith until 80 minutes or so, and that's when you get a little crazy.
Don't want to open yourself up. I mean, England has had their opportunities, but they can't finish.
Right.
They're still in the game. I think you got to play your game.
But the two real opportunities came from Sterling's run through the middle, right? So if they clean that up, then I think Sweden would think like, hey, we can keep playing this for a little bit, but if the 75th minute comes around and you're still down 1-0, you got to change, yeah.
England obviously coming down Trippier's side a lot. A little more balanced than we've seen in some other games. Fabio, you're saying you look to continue that? Would you try to get Ashley Young's side a little more to stretch Sweden out, or do you think to stick with what seems to be working?
It seems to be working, but either way, you can keep going that path, because the reason they're not going so much down the middle is because they're not getting opportunities. We saw in the average positioning, they're really stifling that midfield. So keep going down the wings. If Ashley Young's side becomes more of an attacking threat, then keep pushing it.
Is this a game where maybe if you're Harry Kane, you have to show a little bit of patience or a little bit about you where you can say, look, they seem to be keen on me and we're getting space on the wings, so I'm fine not scoring my goal, maybe not getting the headlines, and just dragging defenders back center here and letting these wings open up for other players to score and having the confidence and your faith in your teammates to get it done? Is that something maybe we need to see from him today?
I would be perfectly fine with it. I mean, Lukaku did it yesterday, right? He drew a lot of attention to him and let everybody else do the thing. If he can do if Kane can do that, what Lukaku did yesterday, and let Sterling shine a little bit and let the outside guys push forward, I think that'd be a big benefit for England.
I mean, if Sweden's going to overcommit on Kane, I think that they have the personnel to make them pay.
Right.
And I think that if Kane can continue to draw numbers in and draw defenders, you're going to see gaps like the ones Sterling's been able to exploit.
Yeah, and the great strikers know, right? Bring the game to them, drag the defense to them, and then pass off. And then later, that Sweden's defense will start keying on Sterling, keying on other people around. They'll find his spots. Yeah.
Isn't that a little bit of a luxury, though, that as someone playing for an England or this Belgium team that we saw yesterday has, where maybe you look at some of the other, look at Lewandowski at Poland, and he's going, if I just allow myself to sort of be marked out of the game a little bit or draw someone out, then who's going to step up? And he's looking around. And I don't know. I feel like that's a good problem to have, right? That means things are going well. You're on a good team if you can worry about that. Pretty positive, though, to see Sterling this much red, having a high involvement in the box there. That means the run through, he's getting there, or he's making it. So
this is a good heat map, especially when you compare it to Harry Kane's just before, right? That he's up and down the field and all the way across it. So he's really working. It would have been great if he would have finished once, so that he can show something for all of his effort. But the work rate is really good.
John, who's been the standout passer for you this match, or the worst passer?
Oh, it's a good question. I mean, look at this. This is great. 17 passes. Him being all over the field. Raheem is, as I said at the beginning, I felt Raheem would be the key to this whole thing if they were going to win it, and he looks to be doing the work that he needs to be doing to unsettle the Swedish defense. So he's the guy I'm looking at, and look at this, 17 passes. That's pretty great.
One of them a chance created, too.
Yep.
And the 4 unsuccessful ones are around Sweden's
around the box,
penalty.
exactly.
I mean, as a forward, you would expect that.
Got to look at my man Henderson. Got to show a little Liverpool love. He didn't have the best game last time, so I'm looking for a little redemption for him.
He's doing all right, though.
I mean, I think what Southgate's asking him to do is just be steady, just sort of be that connector between the defense and the offense, and I think he's able to do that. You see 21 successful passes, 7. I mean, it's going to be clogged in the center of the field, so you're going to have a few misses there, but I think he looks pretty clean right now.
Yeah.
Let's look at his forward passes only. He's pretty good. I mean, I think you can live with some of these passes incomplete.
They're attacking attempts, right? I'm fine with that. I think Henderson's strength here in this game is really the fact that Sweden is so strong and physical. He's that kind of a player, right? He's not afraid to hit you, and so the ability to be that mad dog in the midfield is what's really going to win it for him. So I'm not concerned about his ability to make successful passes. I'm more looking for him to win the ball and be a nuisance to their forwards and to the midfield.
You're trying to make him Gattuso, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to do. I always see him thinking back to Italy. So.
Every team could use a player like that. Every team
Yeah.
could use a player like that who their job is just to win the ball back and be a nuisance in the midfield because it's distracting and it lifts the spirits of the rest of the members when you have that player going that hard, constantly working.
As long as he doesn't shoot. That's good.
Yeah.
Let's look at...
And there's just one.
There's why.
Well, and you know what? He might as well be playing for Sweden. Sweden, one attempt. That one shot we saw earlier. That it was a bad shot. It wasn't terrible, but if you're England, you're going, yes, please. Yeah. As much as Pickford wants to complain, if you're in the back three in England, you're going, please shoot that shot.
35 yards.
We'll take goal kicks all day, right? Yeah. England, 5 attempts. What do we think so far?
That's what you'd expect. I mean, they're going to have their chances. They're going to have more of them in the second half. But they just have to put them away.
This is a good game for England to... It's almost like a practice round, to be honest with you. It's a good game for them to...
Quarterfinals of the World Cup. You're saying it's a practice round.
But I mean to say, it's a good game for them to establish their strategy, get a better rhythm going into the semifinals, right? As long as they can continue to pull out a win here, which they should, by all accounts, continue to do so, this is a good way for them to prepare for who they're going to likely play next in the next round.
And depending on what happens with Russia and Croatia, England, in essence, could become the underdog of the semis if they win this match here. If Croatia takes care of Russia, then England is the underdog all the way through, and that could carry them. And you're right. This feels like the game where they're figuring out their confidence, who they are fully, and what they're going to be able to do if they make it past this game.
Does it help England to play better by being the underdog, or is that easier for them to then justify a potential exit? You know, where it's like, hey, we did you guys proud, but hey, we ran into France or whatever, or, you know.
I mean, I think when you're England, you have players playing in the best league in the world, and you expect yourself to be a favorite, but I think that's part of their mentality. We spoke so much at the beginning of the game about teams' mentalities, and I think England enjoy that, and they relish that, and they want to believe that, okay, people don't expect them to be here. They expect them to be out. They expect them to lose in penalty kicks. So I think that helps them going forward if they were to face a Belgium or a France or potentially Croatia. Yeah. So I think that, you know, they gain from that. But I think this is a valuable lesson to play a team like Sweden, who are going to be so defensive. It's in moments of games, even when you play against a Belgium or a France, you're going to see teams sit back, and you're going to have to figure out a way to break them down, to be clever and to use your either your physical speed or your physical size, or to use your cleverness to break teams down. It's a good lesson right now.
Well, Sevi, you said it right. When we're looking at Belgium, they figured out how to play all these different games and win. And England is still figuring themselves out as well. And I would argue Belgium is a better team at this point than England, but we don't know for sure how strong England can be once they figure out that they can succeed in all different types of games.
Yeah. And what did we learn then now, in a little bit of hindsight, with a couple of matches behind us now, or a match and a half, from the England-Belgium game? Was that also now, can you look back and say we learned from that, or was that, let's just get into the easier half of the bracket?
I still don't count that game as a true game. Most of the subs were playing. They weren't really as intense as you would have expected. If they were to meet again in the finals, I think it would be a different game.
Do you think, though, I guess...
It required a good goal for Belgium to break through. I mean, if you're Southgate, you have to think that, okay, well, my guys can go toe-to-toe with those guys, even the reserves. I mean, it took a moment of brilliance to break them down. So, I mean, you have to be at least a little bit confident going into that one.
So rather than Belgium say, hey, we won, I mean, I don't know why I'm quoting, they did win. They won that game. Rather than them having more confidence from that, it's England saying, well, I think they did, England maybe rested like 1 or 2 players more, if we're nitpicking, than Belgium. So it's like, hey, we went toe-to-toe, and we fielded an even weaker side than you did. So wait till you see our starting 11, who've now gone on and thrashed a couple teams, or Panama or whatever. I don't know. I don't know who the advantage is. I think it's maybe still too early to actually tell what we learned. We may never know.
If you're Belgium, I mean, you have to feel confident looking at the way that you just destroyed Brazil.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that we were talking about going into the harder bracket and avoiding Brazil, and Belgium showed their class above Brazil. Would England do that?
That's a good question. Had it been the reverse, and England won that game and now was in the left side of the bracket, would they have been able to get to Brazil and beat Brazil the way the Belgians did? I don't know.
I think football would have come home a little bit earlier than expected. A little bit earlier than expected. The second half kicks off here. Got a few comments to catch up on too. Sterling hasn't done anything this tournament. Rashford could do something special.
Marcus Rashford?
Yeah, I don't think they use Rashford. Southgate doesn't use Rashford as much as maybe he should. He puts him in later in the games than probably he should, and he doesn't give him enough of an opportunity. I think Rashford's kind of earned that a little bit.
Yeah, it is a little surprising how few minutes he's gotten, especially when he scored that stunner in the build-up.
I expect him to get more minutes in the last game against Colombia. I thought he was a little too slow to go to him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. He could have put him in at least 10 minutes earlier.
MMZ Gameplay says, what do you guys think South American teams have to do to be on the same level of European teams? Only one World Cup finalist, Argentina, from that continent in the last 16 years.
Well, what are we talking
last
about?
what?
16 years.
Yeah, I mean,
Since 2010.
the CONMEBOL is a different qualifying. We were talking about this last time. CONMEBOL is a different quality. You have to qualify in a different way, right? And I think what this idea of Uruguay may be the closest to a European style we see in the South American bracket. So they're adapting it slowly.
But I think that also has to do with the fact that the majority of their players, including Argentina and parts of Brazil, play in Europe.
Yeah.
Most other South American nations don't.
Right.
They play at home or in South America.
Oh, what a save.
Wow, good save, Pickler.
Yeah.
So I think that is an important point, right? I don't know if you need that style, but it's obviously the European style is the one in vogue right now. It's the one that's dominating most teams.
As well, I think they come in a 4-pack too.
There we go. Perfect. But you look at the NBA, right? The NBA has over the last 5 years really adopted more of a European style. A lot of three-point shoot, a lot of set pieces, all that kind of jazz. So it wouldn't be surprising in order to succeed at the World Cup, they have to kind of adapt some of that style within their own teams in that region. I
mean, it'll be interesting in the 2024 World Cup when there's 48 teams, right? And they expand the tournament.
Yeah.
That gives more opportunity for some of these younger, or not younger, but smaller, less experienced South American teams to try and show what they can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you look at, there's also, a spots situation. Obviously, you're getting more spots in Europe. I mean, I'd probably take a Chile over a Poland any day of the week. But I think that, it just hasn't really worked out for South Americans as of late. I mean, you've seen a lot of golden generations kind of run into some buzzsaws. I mean, you look at Germany,
It happens.
what they did to Brazil. I mean, to Argentina. Chances have been there, but for whatever reason, it hasn't worked out. I mean, even Uruguay in 2010, I mean, we're very close to getting to the final.
Yeah.
Probably they have Suarez in that game. Maybe they beat the Netherlands.
Yeah, that's a looking at the game against France. Do you think Cavani would have made a difference? Like,
I think so.
Yeah,
a
totally.
distinct difference.
I think
Enough to make a win? I don't know.
I
but
think-
he would have made a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I throw out the Muslera goal. I mean, that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
tough.
freak thing.
Right.
It's a freak goal.
Maybe,
had
maybe
their
he would have been
chances.
defending
Maybe.
Varane
Maybe.
on that
Yeah,
first
and
goal. You never know.
They had their chances, and you look at Jimenez, Godin. I mean, they were the best back line remaining in the tournament, and you're always going to feel confident when you have two big guys like Suarez and Cavani. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think it hurt him. Suarez was forced to do both roles, and he couldn't do either
Yeah.
of them well enough. So
Yeah.
France was just better. France was just a better team.
I started to see that old Suarez.
You were sensing the frustration. a
Yeah,
little
right?
bit.
Yeah.
It was almost as if the second goal actually kind of just he was like, all right, well, I think like when it was
Yeah.
1-0, you're going, oh boy, 90th minute here, like he's just gonna boil over. But then once they're down 2, it was almost like you don't want to say he gave up, but he kind of
I
got a
think
little more
he-
awareness of the
he-
moment.
yeah.
Like,
He
Yeah.
resigned himself to the fact.
Yeah, I mean, even when I watched that, I was like, okay, well, one goal, obviously not where they want to be. Second goal, okay, that's a bridge too far right there.
Speaking of golden generations, right now I would say that Croatia and Belgium are in their golden generation period, right? Like these are the best teams they've had in a long time. Everything's kind of coming together. All their young players have matured together, and they're all stars in their own right. Which of the two is a better golden generation?
Belgium and who?
Croatia.
I think Belgium pound for pound are, right?
I think just when you look at the amount of players, it's probably a step above. I mean, Luka Modric is one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
I would probably put him. I'd probably put him number one if you put all these pools together as the best player from those two respective national teams. But when you start going into players like Carrasco and Lukaku, I think that Belgium kind of takes a step above Croatia.
I agree with that.
And the defenders too. I like Vertonghen and those
Yeah.
guys' company a little more than Lovren.
What I mean to say is like
whoever's
there's
back
likely a
there.
chance that in 4 years from now they're not going to have the same opportunity, right? Croatia or Belgium,
of course.
for that matter. And so this is it for them, right? Especially Belgium at this point. Like this is your opportunity to get a World Cup because these don't come very often where you have this many good players at the same exact time. So I think they have to realize that, and I know Croatia's actually talked about it. I've read a few things about it, and Belgium as well. Like Belgium had 4 years ago that opportunity, but they didn't gel, and their coaching was poor. But I think this time they're really thinking that they have that chance because we can arguably say that this is not England's golden generation, right?
Maybe.
We'll
I mean, this is a
find
team
out.
that's won at the U17 level, they won at the U20 level. I mean,
But when I say it in that
compared
sense,
to years
compared
past
to
of
years
England,
past, I mean, they probably haven't gotten the same.
there's no star power here
yeah.
the way that there was in
Gerrard,
in
Scholes,
2006.
Lampard,
Beckham,
Yeah, exactly.
Beckham and then Rooney.
Ferdinand,
That's fair.
Terry, everybody was a known commodity. They were high valued.
I always thought that was egos, man.
I mean, I saw a really good interview. I think it was BT Sport, where it was Lampard, Gerrard, and Ferdinand talking about their teams, and
Why
they
they
said,
didn't win.
yeah, why they didn't win, and they said, they brought their clubs into it a little bit.
Yep.
They kind of, would segregate themselves
No surprise.
by clubs, and I mean that happens in teams. I mean, you have the big personalities, and people want to go to sit in the meal room with them and talk to them and all that sort of stuff. But if you can't move away from that in some semblance, I mean, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the difference now, right? I mean, before it used to be country first and club. Now, because there's so much money involved, it's club before country. So you're conditioned at a young age to, like, as soon as you walk into that club, to hate that other club. And so to work with those players on a team in the country, it doesn't work as it did in the past.
Square 111 says in 4 years he'll have players like Sessegnon who will be the real golden generation. Maybe.
Sessegnon.
Oh.
That was a good header.
I have trouble anointing a golden generation before I've seen them play at the real senior level yet. We've seen that before. Nigeria has broken our hearts for 15, 20, 20 years now. Where we're waiting for them to show all that
fair point.
youth talent. Ooh,
what is Sterling doing?
I mean, the youth game, it can be such a indicator, and it can be not in the same regard. I mean, just looking at Mexico. I mean, Mexico's. This was the generation that won the U17 World Cup 2005, and what do they have to show for it?
Well, the other thing about this, and this is completely just off the cuff, but England is a team that most of their players don't play on the same club team, right? The majority of their players, in fact, don't play on the same club team. But, for example, in Italy, it works really well, and Spain is phenomenally well, where the majority of the players play on one or two teams. They develop a chemistry, they're building that chemistry throughout the year, learning to play with each other, and then they just have to slightly adapt for the national team. Whereas England, the majority of the players have to adapt to everybody differently, right? 2006, the majority of the team for Italy was Juventus. Germany's majority of their team has always been Bayern Munich, right? Spain has always been Real Madrid and Barcelona. So I don't know. I think that helps. It makes the job for the manager easier because these players don't need to take as much time to gel. And I think with England, they have that additional adversity because they haven't played together. These players don't really play together as often.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that what makes this England team and probably subsequent ones different is that they have had that success at the youth level. These are these youth teams that have come up together, and so they can kind of break that mold that you mentioned about club over country because they have had the experience of playing in big tournaments and winning.
Well, winning cures everything.
Oh. You got time?
A little more on points.
Yeah, but now he's got to think about it. See?
Sterling's not the one you want making the crosses.
Yeah, Sterling's not. He's not the crossing expert.
And here he is again. There you go. Now he knows what he's doing.
Play right there.
Oh.
I'll tell you what, England's pace is causing some problems now.
Yeah.
It's a bit bad. I feel like Dele Alli and Lingard have been a little bit quiet in the first half.
Dele Alli especially.
Starting to come alive. Yeah, there's been a couple shouts in here in the chat for Rashford, for Lingard, or for one of these.
Yeah, if there's a criticism I have of Southgate, I think it just needs to be a little bit quicker. Give Rashford a little bit more love.
Especially, you feel like if England are going to actually pull this off and win the World Cup, he has to play some part.
Yeah.
There's just too many matches for him not to do something. You get your role players who come in at some point in every World Cup winning team. You don't want to destroy their confidence or keep them ice cold.
Yeah, you don't want it to be a World Cup final where you're forced to bring him on and he's played 10 minutes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? In the rest of the tournament.
Speaking of potential situations, I think they got kind of a tough break with Vardy being injured. I mean, he just seems to be. He's the guy I would want.
Yeah.
If I needed a goal late,
Your plan B is.
I'm playing Vardy.
He's got that kind of anger that he'll go get it.
He's a poacher. He's just a classic poacher who has some skill as well, and that's what you want when you need to get a goal.
He's also quick enough to just harass defender. Maybe pick off a pass or something like that.
Yeah, so I don't know if he's going to potentially miss a semifinal game, but I know he's unavailable today.
You know what I missed too and that I didn't realize is when I saw Suarez playing for Uruguay. And when I see the defenders trying to play the pass, and I see him just laying out, doing a slide top. He doesn't care if he looks stupid missing it. The fact that there's a chance he might get it, I wish more forwards would just lay
That's
out.
all
for
you
that.
have to. Which
Just
is
try. Who
which
cares?
is what's so much fun about watching that team play. They don't.
Good ball.
There it is. Boom!
It is.
Is he offsides?
No?
No.
All right. We were just talking about he was absent everywhere.
Dele
Alli.
If you're in a bar in the UK, say Ali goal. You can make a fiver
Bet
right
somebody
now.
right now.
I'm no soccer expert, but I said Dele Alli and Raheem Sterling at the beginning. And there's your goal. There's your goal.
Man, what is this gonna?
It's one for John. We'll put it.
Right
Terry,
there.
put it on the counter.
I don't write for the LA Galaxy. I'm just saying. A couple of things.
Let's take a look at that goal.
He was very close to offsides.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about.
Who kept him on, I wonder?
No, he's
He's on.
Oh, he's good.
Sterling's
Right,
on.
Sterling. Smartly didn't take part in the play.
Yeah.
You know what? As someone who's played defender, I still feel like even if Sterling isn't involved, he still is because you still think about him. You know what I mean? Like, he's still in your attention. You know what I mean? Like, you can't
From the
say
goalie's
that,
perspective, especially the goalie's accounting for him.
You have to guard as if he could touch the ball. It's not like, oh well, he's completely out of the play, he's offside. Like,
Yeah.
no, you don't know that.
Do you think they look at this or no? No, they won't.
No, I think they have to, right? Every
Yeah.
goal is reviewed, so they must have just said no, he's fine.
No,
I think
FIFA's had enough. They said, look, we want our good teams around. It was all well and good when we had the upsets going, but let's get the market.
no within the rules that was a perfectly
Yeah,
legitimate
it
goal,
was.
right?
Yes.
But I think your argument more is should the rules be amended to say that may be
I can see
interfered with the play?
I can see that.
Ooh.
At what point do you think Southgate starts thinking about maybe getting Kane off and just
Yeah, resting him a little
resting him a little? What lead is safe with England? Tell me what minute and how many goals you need for you to say yes, England have this
If they
game
get another
safely.
goal, I think you go in the next 10 minutes. If they don't, I think you go 75.
bit.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you ask me what lead is safe, it's not to the 95th minute.
Yeah.
But that being said, yes, I agree with the 75th minute.
Terry says 85th minute, up by 6. That's
a
someone
maybe.
who's watched a lot of England with me this tournament.
There
so
you
she
go.
knows.
That's a maybe. Send that thing.
Oh,
It's starting to look like England's
third's coming.
asserting
isn't
their
it?
dominance a little bit more and more. Sweden's running out of.
Yeah, you're starting to see that shape from Sweden
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
And the gaps are there.
Square 111 says 3-0 and it's home and dry.
Yep. That's what I felt walking in.
What is this going to do for the "it's coming home" memes?
Oh
I
my
mean,
God! I think
how do you get more intense going to the semifinal?
I don't
Well,
know.
now that
Right.
it becomes a reality, I think you'll see less of them because people don't want to jinx it.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
people get nuts about it.
Like get a tattoo.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've already
Oh,
seen
that's
those.
right.
Yeah,
I've already
people have
gotten
already gotten
tattoos.
tattoos.
Crazy.
That would be a good like documentary for someone to produce. Is like the people who got these like preemptive tattoos, like the
Right.
Cleveland Browns like Super Bowl
Yeah,
2000
yeah.
whatever champions tattoos. Like, what are those people? What are their stories?
What are their lives like?
exactly?
Oh,
Beautiful.
Oh,
what
great
a
save.
save.
that was a well built up counterattack.
Yep.
Yeah,
That was incredible.
they're not going to get a lot of those though. You
No.
you got to score that.
I mean, that was
That's
well
Great
done.
class.
save.
Pickford.
Great save. Yeah, I think Pickford has now officially answered any of his critics coming in this tournament.
Well, he has
Take
a-
that, Courtois.
Did he really make fun of his height?
He did.
I
but
saw
then he
him backpedal.
backtracked. He's like, "Oh, he's a great goalkeeper, and
Oh. You know Rob
he's
Green.
great. He's great for a short man."
Yeah.
I mean, Courtois got to know that he doesn't want to get booed every ground he goes to, right?
Yeah.
As long, I mean, assuming he stays at Chelsea, who knows?
I mean, you got to figure that so far his performance in this tournament, Pickford is going to get looked at pretty seriously by some bigger clubs, right?
Like
I mean, he's
Liverpool?
already what, the
Liverpool?
most
Like
expensive.
Liverpool, maybe?
He's already the most expensive goalkeeper signing in English history, wasn't
Oh,
he?
How
I-
much did they?
okay.
How much did they pay
30
for him?
million or something?
It's a lot.
I mean, how high could he go? Then you're going to have the classic problem of just overvaluing an England player.
No, that's never happened in
Never.
England
That'll
before.
never happen again.
You never pay a tax for buying British, do you?
Yeah.
The hype train.
Imagine the fee on Alexander Arnold if England win the World Cup.
Oh, he walked this really well. The thing is about Jordan, I want to say and clarify it because I heard a lot of stuff. I never mocked his height. I want to make that clear. I would never mock the height of a goalkeeper. I only said it because he got a touch. I would have saved it because I'm 15 centimeters taller, but I never mocked his height.
But I would have saved it.
Yeah.
If he wasn't so short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking in my
Man
Hope,
of my height.
my Hope Solo book of responses here,
Yeah,
right?
that was.
Oh, I would have saved it, not Brianna Scurry. I would have saved all those goals. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think Hope's a little bit more direct than Courtois.
Yeah, yes. Yeah,
She doesn't mess around.
in many ways.
Yeah. I was really hoping wasn't she running for the U.S.
She
soccer?
was.
Good God. Can you imagine?
She was.
Did anyone
It's a
see
firebrand. Firebrand.
Did she have like a
fire
speech
emoji.
or what was her statement?
Yeah,
I
her
gotta-
speech was just everything is wrong and things
Yeah.
are bad.
No plan to fix, but
Everything's bad.
everything that's there is not right. Yeah.
I have absolutely no experience in administration, but this is what I want to do.
She was just trying to, use her really good image and run on that.
Did Terry, is that true? You're saying Pickford called Courtois old? Is that what he said?
Well, if
He said I might be young. He was trying to bring his age into it.
yeah.
Guess he got to, right? That's the classic
Yeah.
shorter person's response is you got
Yeah.
to bring some age or, education. I don't know,
Yeah,
anything you
education.
can. You got to
Anything, yeah.
bring what you can, right?
Looks.
Right.
Looks, yeah.
That's how I combat you.
Yeah. Toivonen didn't do much this game.
Mm.
Forsberg too. Ooh,
They
the
took
Forsberg.
Forsberg.
Wow. I mean,
Two of their star players they've already taken off.
Star.
I mean, relative.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Here it comes. Hit it. Oh,
No, lay it off to your left.
Sterling, don't think
Of
about
course,
it.
take 1 on 3. That's there. Go.
There you go.
1 on 5. Do it.
No, it's still going. I
Corner.
really get a corner there.
corner right there.
You didn't like Kane's decision. to play
Lingard
there?
has to be yelling at him, saying, "I'm on your left. I'm on your left."
Yeah.
Like he perfectly lined him up.
I thought Kane was going to have the shot himself, to be honest.
I can't wait for the shot of Zlatan eating fish and chips. I just want to say that right now at Wembley. I
In an
mean,
England jersey.
Yeah,
an England jersey.
Did he accept it?
Yeah,
Ah.
he accepted it.
We probably cut the sleeves off.
Probably should.
Get the line out.
Oh! There.
Bury it.
No.
Oh,
Is that Maguire?
Maguire.
You only get one a game, Maguire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. A brace for Maguire would be insane.
7 of England's 10 goals have been scored by someone called Harry.
Hey, now that's a real stat.
Yeah.
Terry, why didn't you get that one?
She was the
Oh,
one
is
who
that
said it.
Terry's?
That's
Oh, that's
from
great.
TK.
Terry, nice. Shout
So
out.
just Mark Harry, the Harrys. I like that.
Ooh, that's corner.
And coming into this game and I hope I'm right on this, Sweden had only allowed 2 goals in the whole tournament, and that was against Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had a stout defense. So both of these have come, one from run and play and one from a set piece. So
So England have got
What
a
was
couple
it, Switzerland?
different
1-0? They won 1-0 against Switzerland?
Yes.
yeah.
That was not the most exciting game.
No.
I'm going
No.
to tell you.
And wasn't it an own goal in essence? Because it bounced off a
Essentially,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Switzerland player.
Looks like Kane's gotten a bit of abuse this match. Gonna have a couple bruises, I think.
Who do they have as striker besides Vardy on the bench? More Rashford? Is that what they're
Yeah.
bringing?
Rashford.
I think you bring him in now.
That's pretty much it.
I mean,
No, I'll give
Sweden
it a few more
doesn't-
minutes.
The Sweden doesn't look like they're
Rashford.
mounting any
Welbeck?
kind of-
Welbeck?
Welbeck.
Oh,
yeah.
Danny Welbeck's on there?
I guess, but
Yeah.
I'd rather give Rashford minutes just
Agreed.
to get him some World Cup minutes than Welbeck. Welbeck, not the future, I don't think.
No.
He'll give you an own goal, Welbeck.
Every once in a while, he does something that just totally surprises you, and then then makes you think maybe you could rely on him. Maybe he can do something for Arsenal, and then
Yeah.
It's just like their dad that never shows up for Christmas.
You just wait for
he just he calls you a couple weeks
Yeah,
before,
wow.
says I'm coming.
I'll be there. Don't worry.
Be there.
Yeah.
And just
Just
sitting by the
outside,
door,
just
waiting.
waiting.
Here we
crying.
go.
God, he's the worst.
Oh,
Boom! Oh.
oh. Was that on target?
Almost.
Looked like it.
Yeah.
It was going on target for sure.
England have more headed goals than any other team at the World Cup.
But we figured that. We knew that. That wasn't set pieces their strength.
Yeah.
Good turn. Paid off.
Play him through. Oh.
Got to be quicker.
That was weird.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, that was very
Corner
weird.
kicks. John Mulligan says, as an Irishman, if England actually win the World Cup, there will be insufferable to holiday with.
That is very true.
It was a very fine line between, like, in the group stage, I want England to do well. They've had this monkey on their back. You know, I like their fans. I like their league. And then, like, a couple more as coming home jokes, and now I'm going, all right, done.
Yeah.
They got to find out, remember who they are. Like, someone just ripped their hearts out like
Yeah,
they
at
do.
a certain point, too, like, the monkey on the back's kind of funny, right? It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the fact that it keeps happening. It's, you know, it's like the White Sox, right? The perennial... Is it the White Sox something like that?
You are terrible with baseball, aren't you?
Is it Cubs?
Big,
Is it the Cubs?
the Red Sox
Yeah,
or
it
Cubs?
was
Cubs,
the
Cubs.
Cubs. Cubs,
It's
yeah.
a Chicago
You know,
team. I was
Yeah.
close.
The White Sox had the second longest.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
would you look at that?
Yeah.
I mean,
But that-
Really-
but
but
that-
that wasn't funny. It was sad.
That ended with Ozzie Guillen.
Yeah,
right?
Ozzie Guillen.
Yeah.
No, I saw one of my favorite "It's Coming Home" jokes is "It's Coming Home" from a Scottish perspective, where it's a Black Mirror episode of a radio just appearing, and the guy smashes it every single time, and it turns around, it's on right there playing. It's coming home. He starts screaming because he's going crazy. It's
Terrifying stuff.
yeah, the entire UK must be like, oh my God, I really hope that England doesn't win this.
I mean, I don't know. Heck, I'd rather see them than Russia win it, I guess.
I still think it's going to be France.
Belgium was very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Both those teams on the other
Yeah.
side were.
I don't
He would
trust
be the
Croatia.
underdog against whoever they play.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it were to be England, Croatia, France, and Belgium, I would think that's a well-deserved semifinal four.
Yeah.
Right? All four of them have the quality that they deserve to be there,
Mm-hmm.
and they've demonstrated that.
Yeah.
You'd be happy with that.
Yeah, I think that would be a legitimate Final Four.
We were pretty close this morning having a Russia and Sweden semifinal.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have been too pleased with that one, I'm
No,
guessing.
that would not have been
Well,
indicative.
and now you start thinking, okay, so I know it's still 20 minutes. Who matches up better? Do they match up better? Obviously, with Russia, that's an easier win here, possibly. But then again, Russia's at home and already took out Spain.
Yeah.
So
And who knows what Putin has under his
Spain
sleeve.
had cracks, though, as we kind of talked about. Not everything was...
never mind.
Oh, it was a Pickford again.
Another save.
Did he save it?
How tall am I now?
Couldn't tell. He was flying
How
in the
tall
air.
am I now? That's
Exactly.
what I'm saying. Every save is that.
And fair play if it is.
Yeah.
He should have laid it off
Save.
to this guy running in.
I can't tell.
I'm 5'11".
For-
I'm 5'11".
He should have laid it off right to this guy running in.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's big.
Yeah, it
But he was
was.
still going over though. Good save. Though.
Had to be
Good athleticism for a short man.
Yeah. I just would have spiked it down myself, but
Oh,
no. Pickford has only been capped 8 times, and some people were upset that he was taken ahead of Joe Hart. Not anymore.
Not anymore. for sure.
No.
Not anymore.
I would have taken anybody over Joe Hart, to be honest. Oh, he
That was
just got
going
it.
in.
Yeah,
That would
was,
hit the top of the post. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you see his game face too as he's making these saves? Like most
got a-
keepers
he's got a
kind of have
constant
this
O
blank,
face.
and he's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
He's got a constant O face going.
I like it.
He's focused.
He knows there's some high res cameras on him.
Oh, yeah. HD slow-mos.
Yeah, exactly. he knows how he looks in 4K. He wants to look tough.
Yeah.
I just wanted to look in the camera at the end of the.
And wink.
How
Yeah.
you like that?
Yeah.
Courtois. How you like that, Courtois? Like Kirk
He
Cousins.
did one of
just
those
walked
like up down
Yeah, yeah.
situations.
Yeah. This is better.
out. Nice.
Oh.
A little too heavy there. Yeah, one of my favorite moments of the tournament was that Moroccan player going like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, yeah.
Amrabat, yeah. No, that's bullshit. Yeah. That was good. What about, I think, was it you that retweeted the other day, the guy trying to do the promo for France
yeah.
game, Mbappe?
And Bubba
Yeah, Bubba.
is like, we better watch as Uruguay takes on France and Pogba and teenage sensation Bubba.
It's just like in no
Who was
way, shape, or
this?
form can you read that and say that he just totally shit the bed. He's like, "Bup."
I mean, he probably saw, the B and all those P's
Yeah,
and
just-
the accent over
just
the
go
E.
fast,
Just
just go
like,
fast.
what the hell is this?
If I just go fast, no one will know.
Is this a Middle Earth name? What
Yeah.
is this? What is this name?
And Bubba.
There's not even
It was so.
there's
good.
not even 2 P's in that name. What is wrong with you?
I mean, good try, though. I mean, you're on live television. Like, okay,
Ooh.
I'm sure
You-
Bubba's right.
You would think they would get somebody who's actually seen a
Yeah.
soccer match before.
What was it?
I don't know.
Or knows how to pronounce the
Yeah.
accents.
Or
of
somebody
E.
would have told him beforehand. Yeah. Like this is the first time he's reading the copy.
Maybe Google. I don't know.
Yeah.
We got some ways and means to solve that problem.
Oh. Yeah.
But when you can say Bubba, I mean, you got to.
I guess
Just
no
go-
one knows who that guy is if
Yeah.
he says Mbappe.
Yeah.
But if you say one Bubba, and now
Yeah.
You
you
got to
know.
imagine that the executive producer is just in the back.
Ratings in the tank. All right, here's what we need you to do. Say Bubba.
Bubba. I think it was for like a San Diego Padres game or something.
I'm just imagining. It's the best player in the world. Mbaba is the greatest. He's the best.
Bubba. Maybe a little too early for England to start making some subs after seeing how much Pickford's had to work the
True.
last few minutes.
Yeah. I mean,
He's
now
also
Sweden.
Neuering it up there. He's on his own 45, passing it around, dribbling.
I guess when you're making those saves, you feel like you are Neuer, right?
It's been a good systematic game from England. They understood how to attack the Swedes, and I think they've done a really good job of their game plan.
I think this is a game. I was telling other people. I think this is a game that previous England teams lose
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they can't really see the situation. I think
Mhm.
that's why a lot of Swedish media was very confident about England showing cracks against Colombia, starting to revert to their old ways. When here, this team's been very smart. They've handled this very well. They've known when to attack. They've got some goalkeeping help from Pickford, and
Yeah.
they're winning. Oh wait,
Oh,
me?
oh,
I'm
oh,
getting
good stuff.
subbed.
No, I
Wait,
didn't know.
but what? I
Well
wasn't
done.
paying attention.
Well done, Dele Alli. Well done.
Now that's how you time waste.
There you go.
I can't see the 20 from here. I'm sorry. I can't. Is that
Me? What? Come on, go for a few hugs.
Who's
high
coming
fives.
in?
There you go.
Fabian Delph,
Oh, Delph. All right.
the new father. Whereas I think it was Gronqvist on Sweden. He's like, yeah, my wife gave birth. FaceTimed with her a few minutes before bed. Like, couldn't stay up too long. I had this game to play. Like, little different mentality.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It kind of sucks, though. I mean,
It's rough.
let the dude just do what he has to do. Credit to Southgate for giving him that space.
Yeah. You think Harry Kane does the same though? If you're going, hey, you're kind of our number 9. We're counting. Fabian Delph,
Yeah.
Welbeck, yeah. You want to take a holiday?
Yeah,
Sure.
go ahead.
Oh shit.
Take a couple days.
I think Harry goes. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'll just FaceTime with her. I'm good.
Yeah.
Just tells her to
He was
hold it in.
probably
You hold it
planning.
in for another
He was
week and a
probably
half.
He was probably planning. He's like, oh, okay, well,
Well.
World Cup time.
That's right. Now we'll have sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Trippier.
Oh, come on.
Ryan's
Don't
there.
get lazy in front of the box. Oh,
Yeah, Sterling
It's
worked
not
so hard to
over.
get his goal, and then
it's not. Oh, wait. Now what? Okay.
some surprise in the chat that Delph came in over Loftus Cheek.
Loftus-Cheek's been very good this tournament. I mean, but
Oh, it was good defense there. Oh, he hurt himself. How you?
Did
Okay.
you hear himself?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Oh,
I
I
think
see.
so.
I see. I thought it was he's doing a calf injury to waste time.
Sweden? Waste their own time? Listen, let's just get this over with, guys.
let's just go home, guys. We got
Just roll around.
this was fun.
This is cool. Let's get some meatballs and go home. Let's do it.
I mean, quarterfinal run. It's pretty good for Sweden.
Yeah, it's an overachievement for
Yeah.
sure.
Especially when you looked at their group. Still can't believe they won the group.
That's
Yeah.
incredible, right?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. No
There you go.
penalties.
That's how you defend. Don't dive in.
That's a handball.
mean, especially, after watching this team in the first game when they played South Korea, I thought they got really fortunate. They got the VAR penalty, and they just weren't, dynamic. They were just boring, but, they've done well to get this far.
I feel like they've overperformed. Like if you look at all their parts that went into it, like this is the best outcome, right? I mean, this is.
Ooh, elbow right into the abdomen.
Abdomen?
Yeah.
Is that what you're calling it now?
What else is it? Stomach? It's like lower. It's almost above. It's just above the groin.
I wouldn't want to find
close.
out myself, to be
Pretty
honest.
close.
Doesn't look like he's having a good time. Square 111 says that the semifinal, meaning the England playing whoever wins Croatia and Russia, he says it's going to be a vile game. Someone's just going to try to bully it and get a Colombia result. Says if you look at the two games, you take it to England and get under their skins, they'll make mistakes. Whereas if you try to defend, England will just walk over you.
People keep saying that crap. I don't agree with it at all. No, I think through the whole tournament, England has proved that they are unflappable, and they understand. They take their personality from their manager, and I think that's how they're playing. They're playing a workmanlike game that has flair because of Kane, but other than that, it's very workmanlike, and I appreciate that. I don't think there's getting under their skin. I think Southgate has them mentally in the right place. Look at that. Do you see? They're mentally in the right place, like causing tears. It's great stuff. So I don't think it'll be. I think they have more ingenuity in their attack, that they won't just sit back and it'll be a 1-1 game. I just don't see that. That's an old type of approach.
Yeah, I don't believe the under their skin thing myself. I feel like they've been pretty composed. I mean, they won a shootout. They haven't lost their heads. There's been no David Beckham kick out moment or anything like that.
Also, if say they were advanced against Croatia's not going to play that way. Croatia plays.
It's open style.
Plays an open style, and they're going to try to go at England head on. I mean,
Who would be the favorite in that game?
Probably still Croatia.
I think, when a player like Modric,
and Rakitic.
So far in this tournament, England's been the favorite. I guess against Belgium, they probably may not have been.
Right.
But so far, they've been the favorite every game, and they've proven it, right, that they should be the favorite.
The only game they weren't the underdog, they didn't win, and I know weird circumstances. But you're saying can they win as underdogs?
As underdogs, yeah. I don't think why they couldn't.
Yeah,
I think so. I mean,
Pickford, put yourself about now.
What'd you say about my height? What'd you say?
We've been talking to Courtois.
Let's see.
What'd he say?
Let's see.
What's the short guy doing?
Is that under someone's skin? Does that count?
What is the short guy doing?
No.
Yeah.
Is he supposed to be on the field? Is he supposed to be on the
Who's
field?
this mascot out here?
Did the ball boy come out and
Get the
grab
ball boy out.
Delph, is your son out here? What is your son playing goal out here? Oh.
With the parent of Mr. Pickford, please.
There's a lost boy.
There's a lost boy on the field.
Lost child in IKEA. Please come pick him up.
Please to find parent here.
We're joking about it, but how tall is...
He's normal height.
Is he like a 5'11", 5'10"? Yeah. He's like a regular sized person, right?
What?
He can't be 6'1".
He's 6'1"? Okay.
On the
So
wing.
he's taller
on the
than
wing.
me. Okay, great. I apologize, Jordan.
Then Courtois is
He's
what,
6'1"?
6'5", I think he is.
He's big, yeah.
It's like when you watch the NBA and then you see a point guard in real life. You're like, oh wow, he looks so small on the screen. You're like, Jesus, he's what?
Courtois 6'6"?
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, like Chris Paul. Like,
Yeah.
wow, he's tiny, and then you see him taking pictures with like other like members of celebrities, and he's like towers above them.
Yeah.
That's what I always get. I always think about when a European team comes here, and like you see like Lukaku or Rashford or Fellaini in person, you're like, oh my God, you're so big.
Yeah.
How are you so big?
Well, even 2 years ago, I went to see a LA Galaxy game, like front row or second row, and the speed of the game and the size of the guys, you just can't get a scope of when you're watching it on TV and in person. It's just incredible. So yeah, it's true. And I went I met Steve Nash at Fig and Olive one time. He was just standing outside, and I couldn't believe I was looking up to Steve Nash because in my mind he was like.
So he's a little guy.
Well, it's like I remember seeing a picture. So Henri's always been a tall guy.
Oh,
right.
And then I remember seeing a picture of him shaking hands with LeBron James, and it was just like not even, it was not even close.
Well, when Zlatan went to go see the Lakers, I mean, he asked Walton, he's like, "Oh, what position would I play?" He's like, "Probably a point guard or shooting guard." And he's like, "Wait, what?" It's like, "No, I want to be in there, you know."
Power forward?
Power
No, man.
forward.
No, man.
Like, no, man, you're short.
Can
There's
you
like a
shoot?
picture of him like looking up at like Brooke Lopez.
Oh,
I'm like,
God. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What was,
Mm.
that was strange.
Yeah, he did it too quickly, too.
They talked for 20 minutes about what to do. Henderson walked back to have a word, and then took the free kick in 4 seconds.
All right.
Now Henderson's off. Maybe that's what he was trying to talk about.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Go for the high five.
I wonder if he pulled something. If they wanted to, maybe that's why he was trying to go off before the free kick. I'm guessing.
Maybe.
Kane is still on the field.
Yeah.
He won't take him off.
That's
No,
kinda
don't you
crazy.
dare.
Rashford's been warming up for 25 minutes.
I always love the walk off when you're trying to waste time. You got to high five everybody.
Everybody,
go
yeah.
Go to the ref. Be like, "Yeah, man.
Thanks.
Great
Good job, good
Great
job."
job.
The guys
You know
who
what?
take off their
Thanks.
shin guards and start to take off their
Yeah.
shoes
Yeah,
before
right.
they're even up
Applaud the
field.
fan. Do a little
Yeah.
turn and
Good
applaud
job.
the fans. Then the fake jog for 2 steps.
Mhm.
and then
No,
walk
the shaking the
again.
ref's
walk.
hand is the classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
'Cause that's what you
That's
really
the
wanted to
best
do
move.
that.
That's
Yeah.
the
Couldn't
best
wait.
move.
Yeah. You really wanted to shake the ref's hand.
that's funny. Any hope for Sweden to grab 2, or too little, too late?
They might get one at the end, but I don't think two.
They just don't have the firepower.
They look tired as well.
Yeah.
There's a man in LA who I think could conjure a couple goals. I don't want to name names. I'm just saying, if you need a plan B,
Yeah.
you like Vardy.
Yeah.
I still like Mr. Ibrahimovic myself. It's
Oh,
gonna be
yeah.
a pretty handy plan B.
I mean, it's a hell of a plan B to have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very, very famous plan B to have.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. It would interfere with his Visa sponsorships, that all the commercials that he keeps making. But ooh,
Ooh.
that was weird. I'm sure they're going to ask questions of whether or not they should have brought him, but I think they did well without him.
Yeah.
right? And you can make a good argument that they may not have gotten this far had they brought him. So
This is not a Donovan situation.
Right.
This is
No.
more logical.
I think you also came up against a team. Shout out to the Mexican fan up there, still just partying. You can make a case, like with Uruguay, they ran into a team that's better than them.
Yeah.
They had their chances. I mean, Pickford has
Yeah.
been fantastic today. So you can leave with your heads held high.
yeah, I agree with that. Same
Uh,
with Japan. Japan
Oh, yeah.
should. I mean, also the fact that they just cleaned the hell out of their
Yeah,
their
their locker room.
their locker room, but they should leave with their good tackle, with their heads high. They played some. That game was some of the best soccer a team has played yet.
Yeah, they scored some good goals.
Mhm.
Put
Oh.
Belgium under. Oh.
Who do you makes next match?
Got a question. Can us, the panel, remember a less exciting World Cup quarterfinal? Not a lot of jeopardy and drama in this one.
I mean,
It wasn't boring.
yeah, this is what you expect. I mean,
Yeah.
not every game is going to be end to end, and that's
Whenever
fun.
England's playing in the latter stages
Yeah.
too, there's still that moment of it could go wrong at any point. This
Exactly.
whole thing could explode. Like even if nothing happens, you're still waiting for it to potentially
I mean,
happen.
Sweden could score twice, right here.
One goal from Sweden, and all of a sudden, it's
Now
not
you're
it's not a
freaking
boring
Some tight,
routine affair.
some tight sphincters going
Mhm.
on.
Also, I'm sure there's been plenty of games that have been worse. Italy, Ukraine in 2006. We just dominated them 3-0. It wasn't even
Oh,
close.
Oh yeah, I remember
It wasn't
that.
even
Was that quarterfinals?
Quarterfinals.
Because Australia was the first round.
First round,
16.
yeah.
That was not routine.
No, that was not.
Australia, that
Dodgy
was
penalty to win
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Was that a dive? It was a dive in there, right? And then-
Yeah, it was a dive.
It's how many minutes did it take? It took him 10 years. Yes.
Let's be honest.
It's far enough away.
It took Robin fewer years to admit that he dove against Mexico.
I know.
Van Sensei says, prediction, Russia wins the World Cup. People underestimated and they've shown they know how to play.
Underestimated.
No,
they were the lowest ranked team coming to the World Cup.
I think they're exactly what we thought they were.
Exactly.
They came in an easy group. They played Saudi Arabia and Egypt without
Yeah.
Salah, or broken Salah. Credit to them for beating Spain, who were kind of dysfunctional and just passed around without any great invention. But I think we'll find out today.
Yeah, let's see
Yeah,
what
today's-
if they can play and perform against Croatia. Then okay, yes.
Yeah.
Then yeah,
Mhm.
you can.
I
You can continue in the
underestimated their
tournament.
willingness to,
There! Finally.
I Don't take an extra touch.
Oh, look at you two. Oh, my God.
Good problems to have, though. Those are good problems to have. 2-0,
Guess so.
89th minute.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they can do against Croatia. I mean, they were so organized. You know, they never stopped running against Spain.
Yeah.
It's going to be another test like that today.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It is always fun when the hosts do well, too. Like, it does make it exciting. Getting some good Zlatan comments. Zlatan doesn't eat fish and chips. The fish jumps into Zlatan's mouth.
I believe it.
It's, Square says Zlatan would never be a plan B, and Sweden have been a better team without him. They work better defending than just have one person saying, give me the ball.
I mean, that's essentially what people have been saying.
True. How has your experience been with Zlatan in terms of fitting in the Galaxy? He hasn't really, from what I gather, you tell me, he hasn't really been like total prima donna, just
No.
I'm only going to walk around and you guys feed me.
Yeah,
It hasn't quite been that, has it?
I think it's kind of, the team has maybe devolved into that a little bit just because you lean on him so much, and they haven't had a lot of success, and they've had a lot of injuries to players like Giovanni Dos Santos and Ola Kamara, those guys. But, I mean, he's a true professional. He's the kind of guy that holds you accountable. That's what you need at this stage.
And when he scores goals, like, he legitimately receives the teammates' appreciation in a way that isn't cocky or arrogant, which you've seen other strikers do, who come to play in the MLS.
I think it's a lot of
Henry.
it's a lot of his personality and his brand. I mean, that creates this identity.
I mean, his tweet about LeBron coming was just brilliant. Yeah. Now they have
What was it? The lion welcomes the king?
He's the guy. They have a god now.
The god of the king.
God welcomes the king.
What's a king to a god?
Yeah.
Oh.
Much ado about nothing right there. I mean,
a small part of me wished he scored just to make the last 3 minutes.
Oh, is that a guy wearing the? Okay, sure.
Why not? You know, you're showing your national pride however you can.
I guess so. All right, fair.
Good comment on the earlier England missed opportunity. Sterling, not content with ruining his own chances, now he has to ruin Delph's. On cue, and there he is coming out.
Best comment of the day. Best comment of the day.
He was a little wasteful, I'd say.
Yeah.
But he did create, at least we saw some involvement where he kind of created some dangerous stuff.
Yeah.
That's his job. Oh, Rashford for
Finally,
4 minutes.
Poor Rashford.
For 4 minutes in the stoppage time.
Makes
Great.
no sense. God forbid something happens to Kane or anything, an injury, he doesn't have the minutes.
Heavy knock on wood for that, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Kane doesn't get injured that much, though. I feel like
No.
I don't remember like a long Harry Kane on the sideline spell yet. Or at least wait until Premier League season.
Right.
What's
Offsides.
how are you gonna be offsides on that? Let me see. 5 minutes extra time. We're already in the 92nd.
Yeah.
This is about when Colombia equalized against England last game.
I'm watching at work, and it happens, and I just yelled out in the middle of a quiet office. Just yelled out as I'm working because I was so mad that they equalized.
Did you see that guy with the broken arm holding the beer cheering right there? That was pretty funny.
Dedication.
Yeah.
Oh, good save. Oh.
If only I had a baby in the other arm.
I know, right?
Like that baseball guy did.
Do anything. I mean, this is massive for England's confidence. I mean, if they can keep the 0, Pickford's been phenomenal.
Yeah. He looks in good form.
And I think what I didn't expect was for them to play better. I mean, you don't usually see England teams improve as the tournament goes on, like you've seen with Belgium and like you've seen with France. I mean, those teams are steadily, improving in their ball movement and their finishing, and this England team is starting to round into form.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually the opposite with England, where the nerves creep in and all of a sudden all the optimism starts to fade.
Because there's so much expectation on them. But that's been so great about this team. There's not really a lot of expectation for them.
They don't seem to be aware of it for sure.
Yeah, you look at every England team at the World Cup in the last
20 years.
20 years,
At least, yeah.
I mean, they're crushed by that expectation.
Mhm.
This team is free of it.
Because they can sense the vibe in the stands with every miss they make,
Mhm.
that everyone's just yelling at them. In this, it's more like, well, he got down there. Well, he got in there.
I think it was all of us that were talking about it maybe last week. When
that's
it's
a
like
yellow card.
these young stars with social media and everything, and Sterling goes through. Like they're already so exposed to criticism that
Good
it's like
point.
what's a little more come World Cup time?
Right.
We
Yeah.
already get hate
Yeah.
tweets all day.
That's a
So
great point, man.
How much do you think having a guy like Southgate, who's been through the worst of that, as the head coach, helped this team?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure in preparation, in conversation, and if any of them start to be too above their station, he's willing to yank them back. And you see that in the interviews he does, too.
I mean, he's a bit of a player manager, right? Like
Yeah.
he seems to get along with people's personalities, and yeah, I mean, he's definitely got. He I don't want to say hubris isn't the right word, but like he's suffered, like there's that.
Yeah, he just knows what the pain feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he has to me, it's the closest I've ever seen to a Brian Clough manager in charge of a national team.
That whole sense of just emotional, like everyone's aware of what you've gone through, and
It really seems like this team likes to play for him.
yeah,
That's the
And
next thing I was going to say.
And you never see that with an England
Yeah.
team. I mean, you think Steven Gerrard and those guys like to play for Sven-Goran Eriksson?
Yeah. Or Harry, or whatever. Who was the guy?
Ryan, what's his?
Sam
Hodge-
Allardyce. And
yeah.
who was came up
Hodgson.
to Allardyce?
There's Capello, wasn't there for a little bit?
Capello.
Fabian Capello, yeah.
wow.
Who was after Allardyce? Because Allardyce only played one game. Oh, Hodgson. They're not going to play for
Oh,
Hodgson.
Hodgson's
Yeah.
Oh
right.
my God,
They're not going to give it up for Hodgson.
That's
There
it.
you go.
there it is.
It's coming home.
It's coming home, for better or worse. Van Sensei, since U.S. didn't qualify, question mark? Exclamation. Good on England for the victory, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I can adopt England as.
I mean, I cheer for Mexico, but I mean, it's good for England. I mean, if you're around soccer in America, you've dealt with English soccer
Yeah.
culture in some way or the other. So I think it's good. I want to see him do well. What the hell? It's coming home.
It's coming home.
It's coming home.
I'm very happy. It's my second favorite team since I started watching soccer in the 90s, so I always love right behind the U.S. So.
AB
The
Hokie
last
says,
time they've been in the semifinals.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Will we get more Roca for the semis and the final?
It depends on Sevi. If he wants me to, absolutely.
I'd take you for all of them. I think the semis Tuesday and Wednesday. I think those are the later kickoffs.
Oh, they are. Oh, so then
I
I
believe.
won't be. But
Third place
and
match and
yeah.
final next
Yeah, I
weekend.
would love
So
to.
Saturday, Sunday?
if you can, I'll have a word with FIFA if that doesn't work for you.
I'm just trying to remember.
I'll make some calls, but yeah.
Is it regular time on Saturday,
I
Sunday?
think it's like 7 and 8.
Yeah.
7
That's
and 8.
it.
Oh, a later kick. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later kick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
meet the middle kick. I'm nothing
Yeah.
too obscene.
Not too bad.
Should we
Yeah,
take
I'll
a
miss
look
the
at
semis.
few of the final stats or some second half stats here? Why not? It's fun.
Well, 2 seems to be the winning stat you need to get to. 2 goals so far.
2-0 works. So what do we see in the first half? 40-60 about, 26 in Sweden's third, and in the second half,
I was going to say, man, you tired?
a little more. We saw
My knee a little bit.
a few more England attacks, but
Yeah.
pretty much. I mean, to England's credit, it was 1-0 was good. They were kind of in control in the first half, and they just
Yeah. They just
Yeah.
kept it going.
Yep.
Didn't lose their heads. Didn't try to do anything too drastically different.
Yeah. And they played majority in, of the 2 halves, they played in the Swedish half more.
Yeah. Just play your game.
Mm-hmm.
In the second half, Sweden, we can see they're balanced in that they really didn't attack
Yeah.
much anywhere. A couple late opportunities, a little
They had chances.
that one where they had a few quick passes.
Yeah.
Pickford made a great save.
Pickford made a couple big saves to keep him out. So I mean, like
Early in the second half, right? They
Yeah.
had the header that Pickford made a great save on.
True.
To go
Where
dive
Ashley Young, I think it was, that just got beasted on
yeah,
that.
yeah.
England,
They switched it,
yeah.
right?
Was
no,
it?
that's Sweden. That was Sweden. I'm sorry.
In the first well, no,
Oh, that's
England in the first half,
Yeah,
they were right.
they started coming down Ashley Young's side more.
Yeah, he got a little more involved in the second half. I think that's also kind of good to showcase a little bit that you can attack both
Mhm.
sides, so it's not too one-dimensional. Maybe we'll look at Sterling's heat map here. In the second half,
Wow,
let's
even
do it
more
over the whole game.
Okay.
This is better. This is more involved, right? I mean, you want someone who's kind of
Yeah.
dangerous and can use his pace to attack to be.
He's going to be so valuable, I think, in that semifinal against either Croatia or Russia, teams that will defend, and he'll have that speed, I think, to kind of to break them down.
And he might sucker them into yellows or whatever because they get frustrated trying to catch him.
Absolutely, absolutely. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
How about Dele Alli?
Yeah.
Certainly focused on one side of the field.
Yeah, we saw him shading a little towards the left. It was a little quiet game by some of his standards that we've seen for Spurs, where he's been that. But I suppose not everyone can be the spark plug every single match, right?
I think it's a balanced performance, and that he was able to kind of do his job.
Mr. Kane. Again, another one maybe quiet by his. I think he had a couple nice link-ups, though, some layoffs.
Yeah.
Shown that he can play second fiddle when he needs to.
Yeah, but I think that was the point. Like his purpose was not to be the playmaker and the goal scorer. It was to just draw their defensive players to him.
Only one attempt on goal for him. That's a little surprising. They came 4 minutes in, I think.
Yeah, I think that when you look at how deep he was playing, pulling defenders in, that freed up space for Sterling, for Dele Alli to find behind the defense, and I think that strategy worked pretty well for Southgate.
Yeah.
It paid off today, I think. Everything England was doing, it looked like their plan from the get-go all the way through 90 minutes stayed the same. It worked. They didn't abandon it. Yep. They didn't find themselves unable to execute it anymore. Maybe that's a little bit down to Sweden's.
They didn't panic. I mean, I think that you could panic against a team that's going to drop so far back. You get frustrated. They took their chance off that Maguire set piece. They got it in. I think that once you saw that, honestly, I think it was pretty done and dusted because they looked like a confident team. Sweden started to panic. You saw them pull Forsberg off pretty early. I mean, he's
the double sub early.
Their conduit. I mean, the fact that they had to go to that showed they were panicking a little bit, and England's able to get back to semifinal first time since 1990.
Looking at some of England's shot attempts, you can definitely see that England got bodies back and defended. They were definitely forced to take a fewer, less opportunistic shots there, right? But then they did get the running through. So maybe that's something they needed to look for a little bit more in terms of if a team does camp out. God forbid if Russia beats Croatia and gets through. I mean, did they look to this and can they learn from this a little bit and see what worked and what didn't, or? What is your takeaway just looking at England's attempts here?
I think that if it's Russia that they play next, Russia's going to sit back even more than Sweden did. At least Sweden had moments where they started bursting forward and actually were applying pressures. Russia's going to sit back even more, so they're going to have to be more patient and take more shots from the outside to try and draw their defenders out even further. It's unlikely they're going to play Russia, but it's possible, and if they do, this is going to have to be a little bit more dramatically. There's going to have to be more shots from the outside in order for this to show green in the inside.
I think they should be happy with what they were able to do with a very stout Swedish defense. The amount of shots they were able to get in, the amount of runs they were able to get inside the box. They should feel confident that they're able to break down any defense going forward in the World Cup.
I think this is actually better than I saw them play against, even at Tunisia.
Yeah.
I think they got frustrated in those situations. And you can just sort of see, as I mentioned earlier, how this team is learning, how they're progressing, and how they're able to break down these tough defensive teams.
Well, then let's look ahead a little bit to this next one here. Who's going to win? Who should England want to win? Who do you want to win? Russia and Croatia, kicking off in a couple hours here. Adam, I'll start with you.
You know what? I think Croatia probably wins, but honestly, I want to see Russia win.
You
I
do?
want to see Russia win this game. I think it's fun. It's exciting. I mean, to imagine the hosts going all the way to the semifinal and potentially, they will be playing in, a third place or a final game. I think that's exciting, and it's good for the tournament. I think that Russia really impressed me with how they were able to sit back and then break against Spain. They were able to outwork that team. That team obviously had a lot of flaws, but they were able to find a goal. And I think that that's crucial for this team against Croatia. They have to be able to find that goal, whether it's Cheryshev or they find a goal off set pieces. But Croatia's talent is just so far above, and I think that team is starting to hit their stride. I think they know how far they are in the tournament. They know they can can make a little history, and I think they can dampen Russia.
And if you're England, who would you want to be playing?
I mean,
it's dangerous to pick your opponent. I know.
I think you obviously want to play Russia, but I think that could be a little bit of a trap. I think that you want to play the best teams, especially if you're looking at the other side of the bracket and you're looking at France and Belgium, the two best teams in the tournament. I think you almost want to play Croatia. You have to have that next test. If you're going to make it there, you're going to have to do it the hard way.
I agree with that.
Gents, what do you guys think? Who's coming out of this one?
I mean, it's hard not to say Croatia. Croatia should easily dispatch of Russia. They should dominate it, especially.
But that hasn't been the narrative this tournament necessarily.
That's for sure.
And I think we said this last time we were here. I said Spain should move on easily, and they didn't. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I would hope it's Croatia for all the reasons he just outlined, just because it'll make it a more interesting semifinal. It'd be a better test for England and for Croatia, for that matter. It'd be a better test for them in preparation for France or Belgium, whoever they end up playing. You'd want to go into a final having faced adversity in order to play a good final, and not go into a final that was more of a cakewalk and then not be fully prepared for the final.
Counterpoint being, you'd rather be in that final in the first place than not if Croatia knocks you out, no?
Yeah, I guess that's true. No, I was talking about for either team, right?
Okay,
Either team. You'd rather play, like Croatia would rather play England than Sweden, just as a better preparation for the final, right? And England would rather play Croatia than Russia as better preparation. I agree with her point. They'd rather just be in the final, yes, but I don't know.
I think Russia's going to give Croatia all they can handle. Croatia didn't impress me in that game against Denmark. They've showed a lot of flaws in that game. Everybody thought they're going to romp all over them, and they didn't. And
they got exposed, yeah.
Exactly. And this could be a Belgium-Japan situation. Maybe they were looking past Denmark, and they got caught a little bit, so they'll come out and really kick Russia's ass. But in my opinion, I think Russia understands what they're doing, plus they're playing at home. You cannot discount what it's like to play at home. We saw that with France. We saw that with Mexico when they played at home, that one World Cup. So it just motivates you. Even Greece, it motivates people. So I think they're motivated to bring it everything. I would not be surprised if they won. Now, who do I want to win? Russia, yes, because I want England to get in the final as I'm cheering for England. But I also think the Croatia match, England match, as a soccer fan, is more interesting and fun. And anything can happen, and it might be a way more open game than the England-Russia match. So as a fan of the World Cup, I would rather see England-Croatia. I think it's going to be a better game.
The question is, at what point does Putin show up? He hasn't been to a game yet, from what I understand.
Only to the final.
Right?
Only in the final.
Not any of the Russian.
Not any of the Russian
He
games.
was at the first game.
He was at the first game,
Oh,
right?
that's right.
That's right, with
When he
Saudi
was-
Arabia.
That's right.
The handshake heard around the heard around
So,
OPEC.
how far does Russia need to get for him to show up? Just the final?
I mean,
I think
Final.
he'll be there, right?
You gotta be a winner in Russia.
Yeah.
You gotta be a winner. You can't be.
They don't accept
this
anything less?
quarterfinal-
Yeah.
This quarterfinal business is probably not enough for him. I feel.
He was only going. He's like, well, what's the guaranteed match we know we'll win? He just want to go and be, He says, all right, the opener, that's probably safe for us. And
Yeah,
now he's
exactly.
like,
From
look,
a
ever
PR
since he's like, I'm not going to come to this. I don't want to lose.
The camera's on me.
Exactly.
He'll helicopter in if they win this game. But I mean, in terms of challenges, I think for England, Russia do pose that, that home field advantage. I mean, can you imagine how emotional that game will be?
Yeah.
I mean, talk about patience. Talk about keeping your cool. If you're playing the hosts at home, you're trying to get to the final.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a bottle of emotion. That game will be intense. I mean, it'd be something to watch.
Absolutely. And while I've got you guys here, let's take a look at this other semifinal, the one on Tuesday, France and Belgium. Who we got?
I still have France. France is my team. Since the start of the tournament, I felt like they had all the tools to win this thing. The Belgium-Japan thing could come back to haunt them. In my mind, France may have found some ways to attack them that Japan exposed. So I think France has both the defense and the offense in combination to do this. And I think Belgium is like that Portugal thing. They have to kind of show that they can play with the big boys consistently. And I think they haven't shown that yet. And that may come back to haunt them mentally as they're playing France, especially if France goes up early.
You can say the same thing that Belgium could learn from Argentina's 3 goals on France.
Yeah,
and,
true.
And
Very
some
true.
of the weaknesses that they showed there. It's going to be a great game. And I think Belgium will pull it through, to be honest with you. I think they have a little bit more depth in certain parts of the field that will allow them to succeed, and their attacking force is pretty bright right now. So I think it'll be a goal fest in a lot of ways, but I think Belgium will pull it through.
I got to go with France. I think that Belgium is playing well aside from that blemish against Japan. But France is hitting all gears. And I mean, you look at the tests they've had to go through, going up against Argentina. You know, they could have blown that one late. Then you go up against Uruguay, a defensive team, and they were able to turn that into a cakewalk. I think now is the time for all that firepower to show. And it's going to be another emotional game. Two countries, you know, very close to each other.
Sure.
They'll be very familiar with one another, and I think that France pulls through because I think France is the best team in the tournament at the start of the tournament. I think they're going to go to the final.
French will be spoken. We know that for sure. Interesting. Both managers, also Deschamps and Martinez, that both come under criticism, which is something kind of strange when a manager gets their team to a World Cup semifinal. A lot of questions if the team's succeeding in spite of their managers or because of them, or is the manager just a passenger along for the ride?
Well, Ian Dark tweeted about this there with Martinez yesterday, saying, you know, all these people are bashing him in his club form, and it's like, well, no, he has proven multiple times that he knows how to navigate a team through tournaments. Now, seasons is a whole other ballgame, so he may be, so, you know, we've seen this in numerous sports. Some coaches are just better in tournament situations than season situations, and I think Martinez is doing a great job with Belgium.
Yeah, I mean,
And Deschamps as well.
That's just part of it. I think that it's a different beast when you're playing. I know Martinez's last loss was against Sunderland. And
Something
he hasn't
like
lost
that.
a single game for Belgium yet.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that it's a different beast. But, I mean, you compare that. Deschamps and Martinez get brutalized if they lose. And then you've got Southgate and potentially, you know, the Russian coach who these people are being united or becoming generals in the army.
Yeah.
And on the other side, they went off with their heads.
That's the pressure. But I do think France and England is, in my opinion, that's what I see as the final, because what you brought up earlier, Adam, this idea that these teams are getting better as the tournament progresses, and we see, and I think those are the two teams that have shown consistently that they learn from their mistakes and come out even stronger next game. So that's where I'm going.
What does Henri do in this case?
Cover his eyes.
That's tough. I mean,
who does he root for?
Yeah.
I feel like he's got that Frenchman in him where he's like, well, they didn't want me to coach that team, so I'm gonna
Defect.
Also, I already won a World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's funny.
You bastards have to pull it from my cold dead hands.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of cameras and news about that.
I'm looking forward to that one on Tuesday for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Any final comments we got here? A lot of shout-outs for Outlaw Nation. A lot of outlaws coming in.
Respect. Thanks for watching, guys.
The Roca effect. John Mulligan says, on that performance, football actually might be coming home.
I mean, should we just play the music right now?
Play it. I mean, it's a done deal. Go get the tattoos, all that.
Let's go.
It's happening.
coming
We'll
home.
see. We'll see.
And Brinsley says his money's on France. He doesn't want to be the team that beats Russia in front of Putin. Yeah, I don't. It's not a good place to be. You celebrate that on the plane ride later.
Yeah.
Immediately get on the plane
Just
after
get
the
on the
match.
plane, hope that it can fly, and just get
Yeah, exactly. Hope there's no ticking when you get on the plane. And
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. Well, thanks for joining, guys.
Thank you.
It was a fun one. John, any promo? Where can the people
Oh yeah,
find
you guys can always find me at The Roca Says on Twitter and on Instagram. See all the stuff I'm doing for Collider and all my multiple podcasts, Top 10 shows, Cinephiles, and Outlaw Nation. You know, do it up. And we just talked NBA free agency and Outlaw Nation, and definitely going to talk a World Cup episode next week once everything gets settled.
You don't talk about the old Ant-Man anymore? I mean, come on.
Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yeah.
Great stuff. We talked about it all week on Collider. You can
There we
watch
go.
all. I did an ending explain. For those of you who've seen the movie, there's 2 post-credit scenes. I explain what that could lead to in Avengers 4 and Captain Marvel. So yeah, you can do that as well.
Now we got to go see it. Adam, where can everyone find you?
Find me at Adam Serrano, LAGalaxy.com, Adam Serrano at Twitter and Instagram. You know, providing all that coverage. You know, mixing it up. All the dank memes, all that stuff.
All the
dank memes.
Exactly.
You know, all
Mbappa.
day it's coming in Mbappa.
Mbappa.
Yeah, you get it all there.
All your Mbappa hot takes. Fabio, you can find me on the soccer field Friday nights at Santa Monica.
Exactly.
Keeping me. I'm doing the dirty work so he can score goals. That's how it goes.
That's the only place you can find me.
And of course,
And here.
back here for finals
Next week.
Awesome.
Or third place and finals. Why not?
Why not? I mean, they're free games. You got to make all 64 count, right? Thanks for joining us, guys. Remember to send some comments. Follow everyone on Twitter and social. You'll see those graphics Terry's putting up for you now. Subscribe. Send us comments, feedback, anything you want to see more of, see less of. And remember, if you're seeing this, you are the convention. Adios.